welcome to the Honest Wrestling Review Network, home of the Triple Crown Wrestling Review and the HWR Triple Crown Retrospective. On the Wrestling Review show, the Triple Crown will cover the latest show content for the week, latest news, and rumors in the wrestling industry. During the retrospective show, we will be recapping and recovering significant events in wrestling history. Hopefully you enjoyed today's show, and thank you very much for listening. Hello and welcome back to the Triple Crown Wrestling Review for the second day in a row. Even though these will both likely be posted on the same day to YouTube, so you wouldn't be able to tell the difference, but we do. We're here as always. Steve, Chris, Larry, what's going on, gentlemen?
I'm already exhausted.
We haven't even started yet.
Oh, yeah, we did. Yesterday we started.
I thought
Chris,
you were talking about before the red light even started blinking.
No, that's when Chris turns into a mime. Just
I gotta show my no personality.
come on, Roman Reigns has more personality than you.
Not by much.
I'm the colder personality here.
Oh no,
All right,
no,
CM.
you can't pull that one off. Sorry, unless you got a Pepsi logo tattooed on your arm, you can't pull that shit off.
You would shit yourself if I pulled one out.
I would take my phone to the bathroom and show you. Not
Off
that anyone
the
wants
rails.
to see that.
Haven't even started yet, and we're already on the uncharted territory. The show has already taken a hard left turn.
Chris, since you're wearing it, go ahead and model for our sponsor. Let's get it going.
KK's Creations. Yet again.
Remember, Chris, you have to talk so they can hear you. And
Yes, here is the front of the hoodie. I will
take a few
off
step
the
backs this
headset.
time.
I will.
Thank you.
Yep, I'm taking the headset off. Just a sec. Here's the back.
Woohoo!
The back of it.
thank you so much. And if Steve, go ahead and plug all her socials so they can find them.
Let's see. Facebook, the little @ button, kk'screations.2020. I believe Instagram is KK's Creations. Hold on, let me double check.
I think you're right on that one, too.
I think it's kk'screations.2020 there too, but let me double check.
It's not that hard to find when we find KK's Creations, honestly.
Let's see. And there I go.
Yes.
Away I go. There we go. I'm back. Yep, kk's.creations.2020 on the Instagram.
And our other unofficial
God
sponsor.
bless America. What the French toast?
Go check out Undisputed Belts if you're looking for custom belt work. They make all sorts of, from fantasy football to custom artwork. This is done in about 4 business days for us. That will be trading back and forth for predictions, which will make our predictions for Payback. I have opted out because they say they want their tiebreaker, and I'll give it to them.
Yeah, you had no business in it in the first place, so.
I could just not ship it.
Well, yeah, because I'm not driving the 24-hour drive to California to come get it.
Well, then once you ship it over, I'm going to spray paint Chris on it.
I don't mind you guys customizing it, just don't destroy the plates.
I'm not going to. I'm just messing with you.
You're not the NWO. You're not Hogan. You can't pull that off. Although you have about as much hair as he does.
Best faction ever.
But here, we'll make a compromise with you. We will do whoever finishes lowest on Payback pays shipping.
Fair enough. Considering I'm out of that, so it's between you two.
You're still 3 in the hole. Yeah.
Well, no, we'll start.
I'm messing with.
We'll start fresh with Payback, and whoever has the least number of correct predictions on Payback pays shipping to either me or Chris.
Fair enough.
Well,
All
not
right.
2, but 4. For me or Chris.
So before we get started, we have our fun time gimmicks reactions.
Oh goodness, what
This comes
1972
No,
AWA?
this is coming from 1999 in the WWF.
Oh, we're actually getting fairly recent.
Yeah. Do you remember a guy named Key?
No, but cheers.
Key was short for Kilo. This was Vic Grimes' short-living, less-than-year run in WWE where they had him with white dreads and all white. He came out with Draws and Prince Albert. He was their drug dealer.
Oh, dear God.
Go ahead and look up Vic Grimes as Key. It's quite disturbing.
I don't think I want to. And no, AB is not a sponsor of the show, but I'm drinking it anyway.
I kid you not. I think they just rehashed Mordecai's gear on Mordecai after they used it on him.
They would have to
bad.
actually upscale it by about, 5? Vic Grimes is a big boy.
That's what I'm saying. I think they used it for Vic Grimes first, then cut it down to fit Mordecai.
Ah, okay. I thought you were saying it was.
Oh, no. You can't stretch clothing to fit on Vic Grimes. That guy was a big boy. But yeah, that was unfortunately.
His entire upper bodysuit would fit on one of Vic Grimes' arms.
The thing is, at this time, the character was based on a drug dealer. It was kind of in poor taste, which is why WWE scrapped it, even for the Attitude Era, because of how many wrestlers were dying at that time frame due to drug overdoses. They decided to scrap it. Plus, Vic Grimes was horrible in the ring. I mean, this is a guy that almost killed New Jack. How do you almost kill New Jack?
Well, and in turn, New Jack almost killed him.
Turnabout's fair play.
He said, I don't want to go off the scaffold. Too bad, bitch. Bye.
That's pretty much it. All right, so we'll get started. We're going to speed recap some of last week that we didn't get into. So obviously we have the Deadly Draw from 8-10 setting up the finals. You have your Nightmare Sisters win and Ivelisse and Diamante win. That was your semifinals. However, the thing that's weird is there are so many spoilers going around AEW about it. They reshot it because originally it was Swole Family and Tay Conti and Anna Jay winning.
Which makes sense when we get into AEW of why they had Anna Jay and Tay Conti winning it originally.
Right. When you get into past week's Dynamite, it really does make more sense that they would have done that. But yeah, they did switch things around, especially even with Saturday Night Dynamite when we get into that.
Yep.
Well, is that what we're going to start off with? Saturday Night
It was
Dynamite?
Saturday.
No, we still had to do Deadly Draw, Dark, and Impact from last week before we got to Saturday.
Oh, that's true.
Okay.
So Dark
And
recap.
in the interest of only going to Impact once, just do both weeks at the same time.
I plan.
I'm
on
good
it
with that.
because it hurts. I don't want to make us go through it twice, even though Impact matters
Kinda.
this
Not
week.
at all.
I'll say I think we need to redesign that shirt to say Impact Matters sometimes.
Chris would probably say Impact matters never.
Impact matters with EC3. That's about it.
Well, he did some entertaining stuff this week, so.
I was just saying, apparently he's going to be doing double duty, working with Ring of Honor too.
Nice. I would like to see that.
So yeah. So AEW Dark from 8/18. Match 1 was Nakazawa versus Kip Sabian.
Kip Sabian.
Oh, yeah, Sabian.
Match 2 was Sean Dean and Frank Stone versus Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss.
Janela and Kiss.
Match 3 was Will Hobbs versus Sean Spears. Sorry, Chris. What was your match?
Spears. Oh, same as Steve's. We're the same so far.
Match 4 was Hybrid 2 versus
Oh, by the way, Spears.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, you're
I heard you.
You're a little
I freaking heard you.
You're a little freaking rusty. No, you heard him. I hadn't said a peep about Spears or Hobbs.
My apologies. Steve, Will Hobbs versus Spears. Who's your pick?
Spears, even though Hobbs is a genetic freaking freak.
Match 4, the Hybrid 2 versus the Initiative.
The Hybrid 2.
Hybrid 2.
Match 5, Red Velvet versus Abaddon.
Who?
Abaddon.
Abaddon, because who the hell's Red Velvet?
Match 6, Dark Order, which is Colt
Dark
Cabana,
Order.
Reynolds, and Silver versus Fabu Andre,
Oh, yeah.
and
Hey,
Dark
it's
Order.
Dark
Dark
Order.
Order.
Goodness.
Wow. Good Lord. Lee Johnson versus Ricky Starks.
Ricky Starks.
Yeah, Ricky Starks.
Tony Donati and Baron Black versus Santana and Ortiz. I can't even get that out of my mouth. Billy, not called Gunn, versus Allen Five Angels.
I'm sorry, but
Is it Billy Gunn?
Allen Angels took a famouser.
Yeah, Billy. If it's Billy Gunn, yes, Billy. Gunn.
Yes, it is Billy Gunn. You can't call him Billy Gunn though. It's Billy of the Gun Club.
That's stupid.
Well, he doesn't have the rights to the name.
I was saying,
yeah,
IP, man, intellectual properties. You can't screw with it.
So match 11, Private Party and SCU versus Butcher Blade and the Lucha Brothers.
Butcher Blade, Lucha Brothers.
Yeah, I gotta keep riding the Butcher and the Blade.
So for Dark, AEW Dark from 8/18, you guys are 100% correct. Let's move on to Dark from this past week, since we'll just roll through it and make it all work. So a nice thing about commentary for Dark this week, Excalibur was back. He's not yet back on regular TV, but he's back in the building, so that's good. All right, so first match was Best Friends with Orange Cassidy versus Storm Thomas and Demetri Johnson.
Friends and Cassidy.
Match 2, Sean. I didn't even have to ask Chris. His laughter told me.
Yeah.
Match 2, Sean Spears versus Jesse Sorensen.
Spears.
Match 3, Mel versus Red Velvet.
Who? That's a double who.
Mel's the
Mel.
shaved head chick. I guess I'll go Mel. I think Red Velvet might win that because I don't even know who the hell Red Velvet is, but okay, Mel.
She's a
I'm
cake
sorry,
and she's delicious.
I didn't hear your answer, Steve.
Mel.
Okay. I can't believe I'm asking this question.
Oh, God.
Match 4, Lance Archer. I'll just stop.
Who did he kill?
D3.
D3.
He I guess he's a D&D dice that the Initiative left behind. I don't know. Match 5, Luther and Serpentico versus the Initiative.
Luther and Serpentico.
That's a hard one because it's both shitty. I'll go the Initiative this time.
Nyla Rose with Vicky Guerrero versus Kylie King.
Really? Nyla.
The Gun Club versus Frank Stone and Baron Black.
And a passing motor vehicle.
Yeah, sorry.
So the Gun Club versus who? Because I couldn't hear it over the roar of an engine.
Frank Stone and Baron Black.
Gun Club.
The Gun Club.
Okay, yeah. Next was Penelope Ford versus Heather Monroe.
Penelope
Ford.
This is another one. Why is it even a question? But Santana and Ortiz versus the Metro Brothers.
Who the hell are those guys? All right, Santana and Ortiz.
Santana and Ortiz.
This is the new metrosexual thing that they're doing?
You know what?
You know,
I
hey,
don't even know, honestly.
they're not from the city. They like the metropolitan area. do they wear like slacks and cardigans to the ring or what?
I didn't see that match, to be 100% honest, so I don't know. I'll have to look. Maybe
I was going to say that they are
Metro.
they are AEW's version of the Mean Street Posse.
Oh, good God.
I was thinking Breezango.
I was
See, now
wrong.
we're thinking two different kinds of Metro.
He's thinking businessman. You're thinking, well.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, well, they're from the suburbs. They're metropolitan people.
All right, so your next match, Ricky Starks versus Sean Dean.
Starks.
This is another one that you don't. Jake Hager versus Marco Stunt.
Oh, God. Hager.
Frankie Kazarian versus Kip Sabian.
Kip Sabian.
Ooh. Yeah, I'll say Sabian too.
The Hybrid 2 versus Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss.
Ooh, that one's
Hybrid
tough.
2.
I'll go Janela and Kiss. Screw it.
Okay, so you both got. Well, Steve, you got 2 wrong. Chris, you got 3 wrong.
Oh.
Wow.
So the Hybrid 2 beat Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss.
Okay.
Frankie Kazarian beat Kip Sabian.
I almost went with Frankie though. I almost went with Frankie.
And Luther and Serpentico beat the Initiative. Because, they got to keep the Initiative's losing streak going. Because, they've been losing like crazy,
Because we care about that.
Anyhow, so that covers the 2 weeks of Dark. Now to
So
cover...
let's see. Let's extrapolate that as the predictions for Payback. That means I win.
You get the title off of Dark. That's embarrassing.
You get shit off of Dark, honestly. Come on.
No, I'm saying
if you have to pick
if my
between
Dark
Lance
prediction-
Archer and Marco Stunt winning, I mean that's a no contest.
If my predictions for Dark are any indication, I will win Payback.
Oh. Well, we'll see.
With that said, let's go ahead and hop into Impact for the past 2 weeks to get through it,
Yes.
because
And
That-
this is
that's
where
gonna
our
be fun.
our viewers on YouTube hit the circle 15 like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times.
So we're going to be covering night 1 and night 2 of Emergence. This is their on TV pay per view.
2 nights, they might have to hit it about 15, 20 times.
So match 1 was an X Division Championship match: TJP versus Rohit Raju and Chris Bay. It was a 3-way. Chris Bay drops the
Yeah,
title
it
to
was.
Rohit Raju. He had it less than a month and he drops it already. Match 2, your TNA Championship match: Moose versus Trey Miguel. Moose retains, but EC3 comes out and steals the TNA Championship match, or the championship belt. And doesn't say a word, just steals it and runs.
And it's back listed on eBay where it belongs.
Match 3 was the Good Brothers versus Ace Austin and Fulton. Winners were the Good Brothers in a shit match. Honestly, this was horrible. I expect a lot more out of the Good Brothers, but working with Ace Austin and Fulton, I don't know if they have the chemistry for it. Chris, it's your favorite segment, Wrestle House.
Oh, this is my sleeping time.
Kylie Ray versus Taya Valkyrie. Winner was Kylie Ray. It was a good match, but again, a horrible setting. It felt like they were at a swap meet backyard match. It's just horrible setting. It just blah. Match 5 of night 1 and your main event was the Impact Tag Team Championship match: the Motor City Machine Guns versus the North in the rematch. Winners and still tag team champions, the Motor City Machine Guns. 5 matches over 2 hours. They had over 45 minutes of commercials in this.
So your standard Impact fare.
Worse. It was friggin' worse.
It's an Access TV thing, man.
Yeah, because
I used to watch New Japan on Access TV, and there was so many commercials on that stuff.
But see,
too.
here's the thing. The people that own Access TV own Impact.
Yeah.
So they can control how many commercials they sell in there. So night 2 of Emergence, you have the first match of Eddie Edwards versus Rob Van Dam in the title open challenge. Your winner was Eddie Edwards. Post-match, Eric Young runs down, attacks Edwards, yells out, "I'll see you next week for the championship," blah, blah, blah.
Dude,
Back to Wrestle-
and I'm not watching it, but, just be honest, Larry. Does RVD just need to retire?
Yes, he does. As much as I loved RVD for ECW and everything into WWE, he needs to retire. He's moving a lot slower. He can't pull off the "I'm a young guy that can do all this shit" anymore.
Yeah.
He needs to either change his way he works in the ring to fit more of his level of mobility, or he needs to just leave the ring completely.
So
Yeah.
the 5-star Frog Splash is now like a 2.5.
It's like a 1.
Ooh.
He barely even hits it. Like, they were playing up this whole thing with Katie Forbes, like trying to help him, and keeps getting in his way, and it's like he just stumbles. And the thing is, they still haven't figured out how to have a virtual audience or anything, so it's literally just guardrails around the ring and then blackness.
Yeah.
So it's like, why do they have the guardrails if there's no crowd? It's like, so you threw him into the guardrail for what reason?
There's nobody to be guarding from.
Exactly. There's no one to keep away from the. All right. So then we had back to Wrestle House: Johnny Swinger versus Crazy Steve. Loser has to dress like the winner next week,
Really?
but it was a blindfold match. They had black sacks over their heads.
Oh, God.
But here's the
Even
funny thing.
worse.
here's the funny thing. If you actually watch this match, Swinger was either playing it really well that he couldn't see, whereas Crazy Steve was just working. Like, you could tell he could see through the bag. Because it was just like, oh, over here. He had no missed spots where Johnny Swinger's like, oh, God. You know, it was trash. Your winner was Crazy Steve, by the way.
Oh, the guy that could actually see?
Yeah. Eddie Edwards backstage looking all over for Eric Young. We come back from break. Rhino wants to challenge Reno Scum to a match next week, but he needs a partner, so he texts Heath to come be his partner. But Heath needs everyone to tweet out Heath for Impact so he can get a contract. Yeah, this hashtag still hasn't trended.
At least you checked.
Edwards heads down to the ring again. He grabs the microphone, calls out Eric Young, blah, 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 accepts a challenge to try and fight that night. And Eric Young says it's all by design. It's not happening tonight. It's happening next week. It's all by design. So I have a feeling they're putting the title on Young.
Which they
Just
should.
the way it's feeling, you know. Let's see here. They had a locker room talk segment with the, what are they called? The Rascals. It was stupid, horrible. Making a bunch of weed jokes to Madison Rayne, who's playing up, I don't know, not knowing what weed is. So
Where was Alfalfa?
he was left out, you know, Rona.
One.
Let's see here. We got a video package from Sami Callihan sending a message to RVD. He forewarns him and Forbes that he'll be back in the Impact Zone to beat RVD's ass.
That's what I think about it.
Then we come back. Probably the only interesting segment was actually when we come back from break this time, where we see EC3 sitting and reflecting on his accolades of achievements, talking about the last time he was happy was when he won the TNA championship and how everything has gone downhill from there and how he has to destroy this title so he can get past it. He has to destroy its history.
When
Interesting promo. Yeah.
when he's reflecting on his achievements, he obviously didn't see anything in the WWE time.
No, not
Of course not. No.
Although they keep mind you, remember what Bruce Pritchard says: when you're on top, you don't mention anyone else. You're on the bottom, you mention them. They're mentioning Ring of Honor. They're mentioning New Japan. They're mentioning WWE. Everyone's getting mentioned. I think the only mention was AEW. So, but yeah, he's going to face Moose for a title. When he wins, he plans on destroying it. You know, they're only out $180 from eBay. It's not that big of a deal.
Right. I was going to say, like, and it was probably one of those ones that was on clearance special because nobody was buying them, and he got it for like $130.
Well, this is the white leather one, so he had to pay a little bit more for re-leathering.
Ah, okay.
Next, you had Brian Myers versus Willie Mack. Those of you may not remember the name. Brian Myers is who?
Kurt Hawkins.
Thank you.
I forget his damn names. He changes all the time. I
he was
remember it
one
was
of
Brian Myers in TNA. So,
He was one of the Edgeheads.
Yeah.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, he was.
Your winner
He
was
also
Brian
had
Myers.
a huge losing streak like the Initiative.
Yeah, but
Over 100 days. Or a 100 match losing streak.
And Chris, we go back to Wrestle House,
Rona House.
which Larry D, which he's now going by Lawrence Dean, because, you know, he's supposed to be suave now. Faced
I
off
bet you
against
you're
Johnny
happy.
Bravo. No. Considering my middle name's Dean, no, I'm not. But my first name's Larry, not Lawrence. Thank God. Yeah, that it goes in. There's a lot of bullshit drama storyline in Wrestle House. The whole thing that happened because Rosemary wants Johnny Bravo, and it's just they just need to end it. They've had their 2-week quarantine. Can they please just kill the whole concept? Because your number one contender for the women's title is stuck there, yet she can't have her title match, which takes us into the next match. Steve would have been happy. Deonna
Wasn't this the
Purrazzo
main
versus-
event?
Yes.
Okay.
Deonna Purrazzo versus Jordan Grace in a 30-minute Iron Man match for the Knockouts Championship.
Iron Woman match.
They kept calling it Iron Man. They specified Iron Man.
I've noticed they don't do that anymore. They don't call them Lumberjills either.
Yeah, they're lumberjacks. That's it.
They're
Now they just
lumber
need to
people.
Now they just got to get rid of the word knockouts. personal opinion. But your winner was Deonna Purrazzo with 2 falls to 1. So that takes us through 2 weeks of Impact, and I think under 5 minutes. And I wish I could have spent less time watching it.
Off clap. All right. So do we want to cover Raw? Because I think we should just cover both the AEWs together, kind of like we do with Impact.
I'm okay with that.
We can do the 2 Dynamites in back-to-back. I think it's not a problem. Because you have Saturday Night Dynamite and then Thursday Night Dynamite. Which, Saturday night, again, forewarning, it looks like there were some spoilers that leaked out there that got changed. Because in the original spoilers, you heard that...
Rumor and innuendo.
Thank you, Conrad and Bruce. You had a Wyatt family alumni come help Brody Lee. But if you watch it on TV, that didn't happen. There was also some a Sheeta match that didn't take place on TV, and Thunder Rosa made an appearance that didn't take place. So there's a few things that changed from the original taping of AEW Saturday Night Dynamite to what actually aired.
But is anybody really that surprised that Eric Rowan's going to AEW to join Brody Lee? Those guys are joined at the hip.
I'm not surprised at all. And I think it'd be good because they might actually let him do something more interesting than carry a goddamn cage.
With a giant fucking spider that got killed right after it was revealed.
Or wear a stupid sheet mask for how many years? Look, I love the Wyatt family. I'm a huge Wyatt supporter, obviously. But that sheet mask stuff was annoying. That had to get hot under that thing for him, too. And then to go from the Wyatt family to be stuck in the Bludgeon Brothers and then carry a cage. It's like, come on, can he get a normal gimmick?
The Bludgeon Brothers wasn't that bad, even though it was a blatant ripoff of War Machine.
It wasn't
I didn't think
that
they were that bad either. It's those mallets that made them really
the mallets and Rowan's mask.
And you got one of the single funniest enhancement talent moments ever when the dude took that full Nelson power bomb and screamed like a sissy girl.
You'll never forget that moment, Steve.
No, I won't.
Good Lord.
Like even Corey Graves cracked, and Corey Graves never cracks.
Yeah, he squealed.
Corey Graves was crying.
Was it squealing with enjoyment?
No,
the man squealed like a little pig.
Eric had him. Rowan had him in the full Nelson. He put him up on Harper's shoulders for the power bomb. Harper lifted him up, and as he lifted him up, this dude screams and gets planted.
Oh, we're gonna have to go back and look at that.
I was gonna say YouTube Bludgeon Brothers jobber scream. It'll be the first thing that pops up.
So Saturday Night
Graves literally laughs through the next 2 minutes of his commentary. It's hilarious.
I'll definitely have to go back and look at that again because I don't have full memory of it.
Did you hear that guy scream?
Makes you wonder, what was he supposed to scream or not? Because
the normal enhancement talent fee in WWE was $500. That guy got $1,000 that night.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure that's when enhancement. You're going up against Taz. He's gonna choke you out and suplex you through a table. I want double. Either that or hey, welcome to ECW. Your enhancement night. You're going up against New Jack. I want triple the pay and medical on site. Because I don't want to die. I've seen the mass transit tape. Anyhow, Saturday Night Dynamite. This took place on.
Wait! Whoa! We're supposed to go to Raw.
Yeah, I thought we were doing Raw.
I thought we were gonna do all of AEW, then go back. But okay, we can go in order.
I don't care. I got Raw pulled up, sir. I mean, I can jump into Raw if you want me to.
Yeah,
we can go Raw, NXT, AEW like we normally do.
Yeah.
Not a problem. I can do that.
All right. So Raw starts out. We got McIntyre calling out Orton, telling him that he could beat him, and Orton comes out and crushes McIntyre's skull 2 times.
Twice. And for all those people that were saying that Michaels no-sold the punt kick, conspicuously they're not saying jack shit about McIntyre still being able to walk around after taking 2 of them.
Yeah, honestly, the whole thing is, I really felt that Michaels did sell it pretty well for what.
So did
Because
I.
mean, because he didn't get his normal windup that he would normally get for a punt kick. Is bounce off the rope and kick him real quick.
And he
So-
staggered and he never made it to his feet. It was
Right,
literally lights are on and no one's home.
exactly. It's like he got knocked out. So I was fine with it.
After that, we get set up with Shayna Baszler versus Bailey. And we had a little backstage between Nia Jax and Baszler, kind of trash talking each other a little bit. But
And
then
Because
whoever
we know where this is going.
yeah.
whoever Nia has doing her hair should fire them. It looked like
What,
cotton candy strings.
You
at
didn't like the
back
little
of her.
bubbles?
No. Whoever did that should be fired.
So then we get eventually Nia does come down, and there's a Baszler wins by disqualification of Bailey, and it sets up Baszler and Jax being a tag team, and they're going to be facing Bailey and Sasha Banks at Payback.
So we know where those tag titles are going.
Which I like this. I like it.
Like I
Because
said,
I
if they
didn't
do
know
the
which
whole-
way they were going to go with like, because they kind of kept making it secretive on like who they're actually going to face. They kept saying the titles were up, but we didn't really know who they're going to face.
Realistically, booking was like, who the hell are we going to put with them? Who are
As
we gonna put
long
with them?
as-
Who are-
as-
oh, we got these two.
As long as they do like the whole Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold Steve Austin tag team championship run with it, I'm fine.
Yeah.
You know,
Even
they're
if
great
they do
tag.
even if they do the Tommy Dreamer Raven version, I mean
They're-
that works too.
But I love the Michaels Austin one because they would work so well for like 90% of the match, and then they would literally spend the other 10% fighting each other.
Yeah. I thought
that-
they were going to do something dumb like a battle royal and then just wanted the
Because,
teams
they
to
had-
win.
Because they have enough tag teams in the women's division to do a tag team battle royal.
At least it wasn't the
It'll fill.
Iconics.
Well,
Amen.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
No, I mean I agree. I mean they got a lot of crap going on right with the Iconics right now and the Riot Squad. I hate the whole thing going on. And I'm okay
Yeah,
with
Steve,
them
it could've-
switching it up to somebody different. I want to see a different tag team. I'm sick of seeing the same old shit.
Steve, it could have been the Riot Squad coming in.
I'd
Yeah,
have
that would
okay
have been
with that.
awful. No, that would have been bad. But
No,
that's
I'd
what
have been
I.
okay with that because then it's Liv Morgan's getting screen time, and I don't really care if it's good or not at that point.
Yeah, Liv Morgan's entertaining to watch. I'll give you that. As
She
long as
looks
she
like-
doesn't start coming out with green hair.
Especially
well, she
when,
came out with gray hair, so
Platinum gray is fine. I'm okay with that.
especially when Shayna Baszler gives her an atomic wedgie for the entire world to see.
So next we
Oh.
have Kevin Owens show. I'm so tired
I'm
of the Kevin Owens show.
Whether you're tired of the Kevin Owens show or not, I was happy to see Aleister Black on TV because I am a huge fan of Aleister Black.
Yeah, but we've been
And-
predicting for weeks. Oh, he's getting rebranded. He's getting rebranded, which he kind of did. But
He's going heel, is what it is.
yeah,
Well, yeah,
but
and-
we thought a completely different look because that's how the rumors were, and all he had was something over his eye.
Yeah, he's wearing
And
an
the-
eye patch still. Yeah.
And that was the other thing is like, how in the world are you going to randomly sell an eye injury that happened over a month ago?
Yeah. He was just a Ninja Turtle that didn't have it over his forehead. It slipped over one of his eyes.
He's like, "Oh, I'm perfectly fine," and the next thing he's like, "Oh, my eye. Wait,
Yeah.
you shouldn't still have pain in your eye from an injury that
Well,
happened."
the way he sold it with the dizzy spell in it, it's more like he has internal issues. So maybe they're going to make him go a little nuts. I don't know.
Come
that
on.
would-
You
Yeah,
you got to be careful with that thing though, with like PTSD and all that stuff. You know,
That's where they could be going to sell it.
that's
is
what
make him
I'm
with
saying.
PTSD.
You got to be careful with that. That's walking a
Very, very,
very-
very thin line of
very thin line.
positives. if he starts saying every 22 seconds, it's like, oh Jesus.
Mhm.
Not that we have anything against that. That's it's a very real thing. We know
Yeah.
plenty of people that suffer it and support the veterans. I just don't want to see them use that as a plot point on.
that's
a
and that's
television.
that's what we're getting at. Is we don't want to see it because
Well, and they also did kind of tease that with him not wanting to use the stairs to get in the ring.
yep, yeah.
He's looking at trauma, and it's like, I don't want to do that. Don't want to do that. So yeah.
So that promo was
that
okay. It was
could
fine
set
that he
up-
went heel, but I
That
don't
could
know.
set up a hell of a match. Him and Owens could go. That would be great. They did it back in PWG.
Yeah.
They work really well together.
I'm gonna start a PWG counter for you every week too, on top of the Rona counter.
As long as you don't send me the video of Jushin Thunder Liger with a thumb plug again.
That was great.
It's a great spot. I wasn't there for that, but it was a great spot.
But here's the
And
thing.
look at all the talent that was in that.
That was a
butt plug
huge. I
chain.
was so mad I missed that show.
But here's
I was
the
gonna say that was a butt plug daisy chain that had so many current stars in it.
Yeah, it was.
Here's the point that you make, though, Larry. I agree with you. Like, it'd be cool to see those two go at it, but they have zero stakes for this. They need to have some sort of stakes, some sort of title, maybe U.S. title, something to
Yeah,
make
that's not
it
happening.
just to kind of make it have that more of an oomph of like why I want to
It's-
see it. You know,
It's gonna be a blood feud because it's gonna be Kevin Owens retaliates and it's gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse. It's gonna be a blood feud. It's not gonna be
Yeah.
over anything monetary.
I was
That's
gonna say,
just-
you want to put a title on the line for it, make it for the 24/7.
I was
That's-
just gonna say
that's
that 'cause,
fine,
you know,
too.
it can't
Like,
be
I don't
for this
care.
one. It can't be for this title.
I'm just saying some sort of stakes need to be involved.
But do you really want to see Aleister Black and Kevin Owens fight over the 24/7 title?
No, not at all. But-
Exactly. Have them bring, dude. Wait. The Raw Underground title are supposed to bring in.
oh boy. Anyways.
I was saying,
Aleister
we'll talk
Black
about
is a true
that.
kickboxer.
We'll talk about
He
that
could pull that
abomination later.
Yeah. Well, what I'm getting at though is, I don't want to see another Murphy, Aleister Black, like let's verse each other a billion times thing because they think they.
Although
can go.
those were amazing matches, got to give them credit. The
They-
last one was shit, but the first ones were great.
but
They were
get-
replays of the same thing, but they're
but
great.
WWE overdoes them. Like I'm
Yeah,
okay
I got tired
seeing
of
it
them
a few
after, like,
times, you know.
3.
Yeah, they should have done 3, and that was it.
Just like
I
I
agree
don't
with you.
like Tommaso and Ciampa and Gargano. We all know that they can go, but we don't want to watch it anymore. It's the same old story, you know. Okay, maybe
I'm not-
you do.
I'm not saying anything. I'm saying yes. Owens and Black could go great as long as they don't overdo it. Don't make
Yeah.
them do it on Raw, SmackDown, and then in the pay-per-view, then again on Raw, and then again
Yeah.
on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Don't do that shit. Give us, build it like they're starting to. You get a promo. You're going to get another promo next week. Maybe a match, the following week. Something like that. Build it long. Don't say, oh, we're just going to go out and beat the shit out of each other 3 weeks in a row and then have a pay-per-view match that doesn't
And
feel
if you're
like
going to
it's worth
have
anything.
multiple
Exactly.
matches, some of them shouldn't finish.
Right. It should go, someone should interfere, so there should have some way of stopping the match. His eye causes an injury and the ref does a stoppage, something. Because, WWE loves doing ref stoppages.
Anything goes, no disqualification match.
So next
Cage
week,
match, that if I remember right.
A cell match where anything goes.
Yeah.
But yet a mysterious invisible line got crossed and caused a disqualification in a no DQ match.
WWE, we're never going to let you live that one down. What the fuck were you thinking?
all right. Next is our favorite part: 24/7 Championship Fatal 4-Way. Woo!
I was waiting to see how many times the title was going to hopscotch in this match, but
Only once.
yeah, I was amazed. I was waiting for the old hardcore title, pin, 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 pin,
Yeah.
pin, 8
Nin-
changes in 2 minutes.
Nope, you didn't get that. But you got ninja power.
Oh,
Oh.
I'm really so over the whole ninja gimmick. Like, I know I say it every week. I'm a
Like,
broken record about it, but they
this
need
is-
to just kill this ninja gimmick.
This is the Japanese version of Adam Rose and the Rosebuds.
Yeah, it really is.
It's going to be something that we look back at with like Larry's gimmick things and be like, "You remember the ninjas?" And we're not going to remember the ninjas,
Right,
and we're going
right.
to laugh our asses off about it, about how much we hated it for that
Like the
1
Toxic
minute.
Turtles.
Yeah.
But except this time you're not going to get like future main eventers playing ninjas.
We don't know that. They haven't been unmasked. I know Tozawa's the head of Retribution. That's it.
No.
Oh my goodness.
He's already in the black getup. Why not?
Wouldn't shock me. Retribution's going to be a huge disappointment.
Well, no,
next-
he can't be the leader of Retribution because you don't hear ah.
He doesn't do that shit anymore.
Retribution's
Thank God.
outside.
Next we get Randy Orton coming out.
Oh, I love this. I was so happy to see this. People may not have been too keen on it, especially for what happened to get him here, but I was so pumped for this.
Yep, so Randy Orton comes on out, does his promo, and he gets interrupted by Keith Lee.
Lee in a skort.
With horrible music.
Yeah, I knew Chris couldn't, wait to say that. The music wasn't that horrible.
It was
It
bad.
could have
At
been
least-
a lot worse.
It
At
was
least
bad.
we still got the Bask in His Glory intro.
Yeah, one line of it. And then Keith Lee, another thing, and I've mentioned it to you guys on the side, he cannot decide if he wants to be clean shaven with the soul patch or if he wants a beard.
I think this may be something to do with Vince. Like, maybe you should shave. Yeah, just a soul patch.
He did it all the time in NXT
Soul
too.
Train Jones.
Yeah, it was like each month it's like, which one you gonna be?
You want to go to Olive Garden?
The breadsticks are free.
The meat sauce. Gotta get the meat sauce. The look on Chris's face is great.
I'm not even I'm just like reading. I'm reading like ahead. I'm like, I'm tuning these guys out.
Oh,
I know you're talking about Vincent, but I'm like, okay. Well, I was trying to remember if the third punt came at this time or not.
No, it came later.
Okay, that's what I was.
It came.
looking
It
at.
came a commercial break later. Because after this, they went to commercial. They were trying to talk to Drew in the back, and that's when Orton hit the third.
And fractured his skull.
Yeah.
Leading to
Fractured.
leading to
'Cause, you know,
Keith Lee
he-
versus
he-
Orton tonight. Or
Because
Monday
if you
night.
really look at those punts, he didn't even hit McIntyre. He hit the wall.
Got to protect your star, homie.
I still love
And
the punt.
and if you listen to our favorite assholes podcast,
Fuck Jim Cornette.
he goes off on, when I was there, we didn't have gorilla position like that. We had a table and a goddamn TV with 3 chairs around it, folding steel chairs. They got these lounge chairs, and they probably pump air conditioning that son bitch. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
You
it's
think about
because
gorilla
it's
position?
2020, asshole. Not
Like,
not
he went on
1985.
like a 5-minute rant complaining about how nice gorilla position is. It's like, they're a multi-million-dollar entertainment company. It's not Memphis. They're not working out of school gyms.
Yeah, it's not Smoky Mountain 1985.
Oh, good Lord. Anyhow.
All right, so after that, we get Montez Ford against Angel Garza. He comes out with the Bachelor girl, Demi Burnett. And eventually, Ivar comes out and steals her away
Couldn't
With a
care
turkey
less.
leg. With a turkey leg.
with a turkey leg. He gives her a turkey leg and says, "You want to get out of here?" And she walks on out with him. Garza's pissed. He loses to Ford.
Now,
I gotta say, offering a girl food like a turkey leg has never worked. So I want to know what universe they're in.
Yeah.
it's you got to offer her like ice chips and a smart water.
Nowadays, you just gotta try and lure them in with White Claw and it's like, I
Or
got a White Claw.
sparkling, anything like sparkling water.
Do you like LaCroix or White Claw?
Yeah.
Or
LaCroix?
are you a truly girl?
Oh.
Yeah.
As long as it's not Corona or Bud Light Seltzer.
But the one thing I am impressed with Montez Ford is how he's adding the spin into his frog splash.
That
That is
thing is
cool.
incredible.
Yeah, that is cool.
Beautiful. It's a beautiful thing when you see that go.
Yeah.
But
Next
I'm reading a Bleacher Report on this one as you're going through it. They gave that match a D.
Yeah, I'm on Bleacher Report, and I love how they said this about it. The never-ending rivalry between the Raw Tag Team Champions, the Street Profits, and Angel and Andrade. I can't agree more. End
Yeah,
the shit
it's-
now.
It's gone along. It's gone on so long. It's like, okay, you either need to swap the belts at this point or just cut bait.
Yep.
Well, and like I said, Bleacher Report has lost their minds lately, and if they're shitting on it, you know it's bad.
Yeah.
They've actually, because that's usually where I pull up a lot of our stuff, and they've been shitting on a lot of stuff we've been reading lately. A lot of things. They that Strowman Fiend match, they gave it a D.
Yeah, they didn't like it at all.
Yeah. So next we get
and this was Chris's fappening moment of the night.
well, not really, man. You guys are enjoying the Liv Morgan stuff because here comes Liv Morgan, Ruby Riott, and Bianca Belair. What a weird combination.
Love
and then you get Selena Vega and the Iconics. Another bizarre combination.
Okay, so you got to think about it this way: they're teaming the faces and the heels.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to work two storylines into one show without having to give them double airtime.
Yeah.
So you take Bianca and Belair's and Zelina Vega's feud and combine it with the Riot Squad Iconics feud and make it a 6-man or 6-woman tag. Yeah, that's how we'll do it. Okay, where's Teddy Long and who booked this shit?
We're gonna have ourselves a tag team match, player.
That is the
Who's
perfect
the
way
one
to say it.
backstage
That's Teddy Long booking right there.
Who's the one backstage that loves the 6-man tags? Because we get them every week now.
And the other thing is,
Like I enjoy 6-man tags when they're done right, but
No.
this seems like really thrown together.
and Chris
WWE's
didn't get his
bad at
jolly.
6-man tags.
Chris didn't get his jollies off because the Iconics didn't spend 5 minutes on the mic.
I don't even remember hearing their music, so.
Yeah, I've been fast forwarding through this whole thing lately. It's boring the hell out of me.
Wow, it's so bad that even Chris can't get behind it.
Well,
Yeah.
it's more the Riot Squad. I can't stand Riot Squad, and I hate that they're getting them back together. But I don't like this whole Riot Squad Iconics, and then you got
See, Steve, he can't even admit that he's getting tired of the Iconics because their voices are annoying.
Yeah, it's
it has
got
nothing to do with their voices.
It's got to be somebody else's fault.
Yeah, right?
Hey, typical heel, blame it on someone else. All right, so that match was shit, but yeah, Riot Squad won. I think it was actually Belair that won that match.
Belair
but-
got the pin.
The KOD on Selena Vega.
So then we get Cruz against Bobby Lashley in an arm wrestling competition with Mark Henry running.
Fast forwarded.
I actually really enjoyed this. I thought it was entertaining.
It was
for the
super
simple-
quick.
Yeah, it was quick, and it didn't end in some stupid big-ass brawl. I like how Apollo played off. He stopped him from cheating. You know, it's like there were some cool things they didn't, but you just know that it's going to lead to Cruz losing that title.
Oh yeah, he's definitely losing it. Should have lost it the last time.
He's gonna get flashed by the full Lashley.
Gross. You think it was on my thigh? I felt it.
But yeah, how it went since you fast forwarded, Steve, they put the arms together and Lashley wasn't paying attention and Cruz put his arm down real quick and he ran out of the ring.
Well, no, what it was is Cruz actually lifted the table, like tilted it, and got Lashley's foot under it.
Ah, gotcha.
So he couldn't step on it and create extra leverage. So when Apollo stepped on it, it crushed Lashley's foot and he couldn't do anything about it. That's why he lost so quickly.
Well,
Yeah.
Lashley showed no ill effects in Raw Underground from having his
Yeah,
foot
he
crushed.
was just angry.
Oh, this gets worse. So next after that, we have Mickie James and Natalya and Lana. Quick fast forward.
I will say, Natalya in all white. Yes, please.
Yes, I enjoy how that she looked, but
Mm-hmm.
And then we almost
You have
and then
three people that are awful on the mic in the segment.
And then you had like when Lana took the chick kick, the entire world almost got to see what underwear she was wearing in like 3 frames of that because that dress was like completely see-through at the bottom.
Yeah, she doesn't give
that
a
dress was.
She doesn't give a damn,
both
dude.
of their dresses are half see-through. I mean, they're lace.
Yeah.
I'm looking at a picture right now, mind you. That
You need some time there, Larry?
no, I'm fine. But let's put it this way: Bleacher Report gave it an F.
Yeah, they did.
I would have given it a Z. That's how bad.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
And
All right.
that bump that Natalya took was god awful. That like she couldn't even take a flat back bump after being pushed.
Well, the dress stops her from being able to move.
No, Natalya was in a bodysuit.
I'll have to get another shot of it.
Yeah,
might
I'm
need a
sure you
minute.
will. Larry turns his camera off real quick.
All right, so we take a brief trip to Raw Underground. We see some random guy against Ziggler. And don't they
What
show the
is
Hurt
that
Business?
sound?
Not yet. Chris, I think we broke Steve again.
I was having audio issues with you guys just a minute ago, so I thought we
No,
were
that
having
was
audio issues.
that was like Larry clicking or tapping something. I'm like, what was that? What is that sound?
No clue, brother. No clue.
Yeah, uh-huh.
And then we have our main event. We got Keith Lee against Randy Orton. It was whatever.
It wasn't a bad match. I mean, they could have done a lot more. Obviously, Lee can go, and he probably could have had a good match with Orton if he really had the chance to. But
Oh, and the third punt was after this match. My bad.
Yeah, I know he punched him 3 times, and they said he fractured his skull, and he's out, which was leading to Randy Orton versus Keith Lee at Payback, which shocked me. I thought, let's just get rid of Drew's title.
And not to correct you, Chris, but that wasn't the main event.
No, the main event was Rollins and Murph versus
Oh yeah,
the
sorry.
Mysterios.
The
Sorry about
Mysterios
that.
versus the Monday Night Ministry
That's right. Yeah, I'm missing all kinds of stuff.
and
Yeah,
the Lumberjack match.
because
You
we
missed
still
that
have
too.
we have the Lumberjill match.
No, look, come on, equality, Chris. It's the Lumberjack match.
The Lumber
Or
People
technic-
match.
The Lumber Person match. Yeah, there you go.
All right,
yeah.
so yeah, we have
Even though,
Asuka
you know,
defeating Banks.
Both those matches kind of do deserve to be skipped, though. So
Yeah, and then we got Retribution appearing
for the first time all night.
Lights flickered.
With people obviously pointing out who they are, because the one in the center has a similar build to Dijakovic.
Yeah, Larry, when you put that whole list out, I was like, ugh, that's disgusting. Just go
And
ahead
then
and
if
go
you-
down the rumor mill of who that list was.
According to
I don't-
rumor and innuendo,
I actually don't have it in front of me. I'm sorry.
It was
wasn't gonna get into that.
Dijakovic, Mia Yim, Kaden Carter, Chelsea Green. I don't remember the other ones.
Yeah,
I would-
someone took the picture of them on hard camera, and Dijakovic, the guy in the center of this, is standing in the exact same pose Dijakovic does in his screenshot on the WWE website. It's a cookie cutter of it. It was perfect. So that's how someone tried to figure that out. The other thing Dijakovic did is he put out a series of numbers that, when decoded, spelled Sunday, and then he deleted it. So yeah.
but I mean, I wouldn't be too terribly upset if Mia Yim and Caden Carter were in Retribution.
So I mean, you have to expect Mia Yim's up in the main roster now with Keith Lee. being
Keith
there.
Lee being on Raw. Yep.
Are they dating?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Everybody always talks about them together, so I didn't know. I don't know, man. Caden Carter has done absolute zilch, and
That's because they don't give her a
NXT.
chance to do anything.
Chelsea Green didn't do anything in NXT. Mia Yim,
As
did
long as she doesn't bring
some.
Rob Stone with her, I'm fine with it.
She won't. That's done. But the only one that was notable that's done some stuff has been Dijakovic, and he didn't even do a lot. He just had good matches with Keith Lee, and that was it.
Yeah. They don't have anything for him, so putting him into something like Retribution would make sense.
Yeah, I just don't like that these guys haven't really proved themselves down in the JV team. That's what you kind of look at it as sometimes.
It's not a JV team. It's not developmental. It is a third brand.
But it's considered quote-unquote
technically-
developmental, but
Technically, Evolve is more developmental.
but that's how they always start out. They start out there and then they go to the main roster. That's why everybody calls it the main roster. So I
Unless
still
you're
look
Finn
at it
Balor,
as,
you come back.
yeah, I still look at it as they consider it developmental, even though we don't consider it development.
Because,
But
NXT matters.
Don't let Triple H hear you say stuff like that. He would sledgehammer you.
Although he just sold off so many shares of WWE stock.
$1 million worth.
No, $2.3 million worth. He did 2 different sales on 2 different days.
I was to say the one I heard was for the $1 million. He must have doubled up and did the 1.5 later.
Yeah, it was a lot of a lot he dropped this week.
He's probably, to be honest with you, he's probably in a short position on it, because that's what I would do. They probably put in a short, which means you're going to sell at a particular dollar point with the hopes that the stock falls lower, and you can buy back the shares to sell the shares to whoever you sold them to at a lower price and make profit on it. I would bet you that's what he's doing.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, there's a lot of things they can
Because
do,
when
and
you
it's
sell $2.5 million worth of stock, that stock price is going to do this.
yeah, it's going to drop. And WWE stock doesn't drop that much usually.
It's at $45 a share right now.
Yeah, I
It's
remember
on
when
my
it started.
watch.
When
on
it
my watch
started,
list.
It came out at 17. I think I still own 2 shares. I have to double check.
Yeah, it's on my watch list. When I did my paper on them, they were at $76 a share. Now they're at 45.
Ouch, that's a drop.
Well, I mean, that's what happens when you can't get ticket revenue.
Rona Wrestling.
No, that's 3.
Is
I
it
brought
3?
up
Damn.
I brought up Rona House. So that's 4.
I think Chris froze again.
no, I'm having issues. I'm having computer issues. That's why I'm being
All right,
quiet.
so at this point, are we jumping into Dynamite then?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay. So Saturday Night Dynamite. I know we're hopscotching the days around, but this is Saturday night 8/22. Match 1 was FTR facing Private Party,
Good match. I enjoyed this match very much.
and your winners were FTR.
So yeah.
It was a great match, but you getting Tully Blanchard in their corner, it's really, really cementing them as gonna be developing that new gimmick.
Yeah. They even had the fancy jackets on.
Yeah, their gears all getting more mad. Yeah, it looked great. But it did match. The match
Tully-
did start as. Go ahead.
Tully later brought up what FTR actually means, because he said it was like fear the revolution or something like that.
Yeah, some of that lines. There's been so many rumors about what it means. It could be F the Revival or.
I had initially heard it was fear the revolt. Like
I've heard.
the revolt was supposed to be their initial name.
Who knows? F the Rona.
5 Booker T.
But this match literally started as soon as the show went on the air, so you didn't get any entrances. Which I don't mind them doing that. Sometimes I kind of miss the entrances. But see, I didn't even get to watch it live on Saturday night because NBA went over again, so I caught the replay of it later. So they're still saying that TNT is still saying they're very happy with the ratings that it got for being bounced around as it has been for the past 2 weeks. So that's a good sign for the AEW at least. Then you get a really good promo from Jon Moxley. He cuts one on MJF, which you got to always enjoy when he rips MJF down. Then MJF cut a promo from his headquarters. He's wearing a neck brace, playing up the injury from the paradigm shift, which I think is hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
He had his attorney, because they had literally done they went to change.org and did a petition to ban the paradigm shift. And it's legit. I went on there and looked at it. It's freaking hilarious. But they got over at the time they said they had 5 million signatures. They only had 4,390. All right, so next we had Lucha Bros, the Butcher and the Blade going up against the Natural Nightmares and Jurassic Express. Talk about a cluster of a group of guys. Like, I don't even know. Like,
but your boy gets involved.
Well, hold on, but the whole thing is that you have the Lucha Brothers and Butcher and Blade have this really good dynamic going. They're coming up, you know. It's almost like they're erasing the idea of the Death Triangle with Pac and kind of putting these four guys together.
Oh yeah, that's gone. Death Triangle is gone
because Rona stopped Pac from coming to the States.
Yeah.
So, but it's just the Natural Nightmares and Jurassic Express. That seems really like we need to make this an 8-man. Who do we throw together? It's like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and it seems they've been doing that a lot with these 8-man tags. It's just kind of throwing teams together of the dark match competitors, and because they just want to feed fodder to the Lucha Brothers and the Butcher and Blade, which I sadly, like Steve and I have said, AEW is very top heavy. They have a lot of top name talent that they don't know what to do with. And when you have the Lucha Brothers and the Butcher and the Blade, it's really hard to build a good story with them when you're not giving them. So you're just feeding them fodder. It gets old really quick. And I hate
I feel
to
like
say that.
in tag team division though, I think there's a lot of mid-card tag teams. Because all four of these teams, I would consider them mid-card. The only one that I would consider higher than a mid-card, like upper mid-card, would be Lucha Bros. All the other ones.
Yeah, and Pentagon's been champion how many different places?
Yeah.
So they're a top tier team at least, but you're just feeding them fodder. And you had the dynamic of them getting into a fight with each other, and Eddie Kingston comes out and said, "Hey, we know each other for so long, we've traveled together," and he kind of solidifies them. So it's almost like you get a new stable.
I was gonna say that's another new faction. And then did you see the Eddie Kingston little wink at the end when he
what was it with that creepy wink? Yeah, I don't know. That was a weird, creepy wink of like, "Hey, like we're taking over." I don't know. I couldn't pick up.
I don't know if they're going to call it the King's Court or something. I don't know.
Oh God, please no.
Don't worry. I think Baron Corbin will stop that.
Cease and desist.
Then we go backstage. We have Britt Baker offering Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford a year of free dental work to join her team against Big Swole. What sold them was Britt Baker throwing free makeup for Rebel for Kip Sabian or for Penelope Ford.
Yeah, so and it was also funny because she said like she did like a medical term for like making out, and she said that causes the most cavities.
Yeah.
It was swapping saliva, but it was something to do like medically with saliva. She said
because that's all they're doing is he's lifting weights, they're kissing. I'm like, okay, I get it. You guys are together. I don't need to see that every time you're on TV. Penelope Ford's gorgeous. Don't get me wrong. I don't need to see Kip Sabian down her throat every time they're on TV together. I really don't.
Well, and I think that's why it was an interesting promo because she kind of called him out on that. Like we see this all the time. Yeah.
So next we get the Orange Cassidy interview. Tony Schiavone introduced Cassidy, who came out with Best Friends, as always.
Can you really call it an interview? He didn't speak one word.
Oh, man, that was funny.
Yeah, he didn't get a word out before Jericho comes out.
He stood there for a good 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's literally.
Yeah, he didn't get a word out because he didn't want to.
And this was the first time that they've now put Demo God in Jericho's screen package.
Yeah.
It's like, can you just put every gimmick he's ever had in, Whiteheart, Y2J, blah, 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 Painmaker, just have
I
them all
will
flash.
say, though, I really did miss the fans singing the end of Judas after the music gets cut out. That was so great. I missed that so much.
Well, they have recordings. They can just pump it in. I mean, that's what WWE learned. Pump in audio sound and it works. It actually makes the show more enjoyable, honestly.
Well, we actually got what? No, wait. That was on Thursday. Thursday Night Dynamite. Never mind.
Yeah, we'll get
Thursday
into that.
Thursday night was the first time with live fans.
Yeah, they had 500 seats available.
And I bet you those seats were expensive as hell.
Probably.
It looked like it was general admission.
It wasn't ground level. It was only the upper balcony, the mid balcony, and there's only 6 people to each section. So it was really spaced out.
But with supply and demand, there's only 500 seats and a high demand to be returning fans into wrestling. Those tickets were probably expensive as hell.
I'm sure they were.
Definitely.
So at this point, Jericho comes out. He still has a little bit of the bubbly with him. Congratulates Cassidy for beating him. It's rare for him to get beaten in AEW. He's only been pinned 3 weeks. One of them was a guy who put his hands in his pockets. I
don't know. I thought this was a good promo because he was talking about the bubbly. You like orange juice. Let's combine them together.
Yeah.
so we get
is there any other way for this match to end than somebody going into that 80 gallons of mimosa?
Yes.
If they're both going to go into it.
Well, you can win by putting your opponent in the mimosa or pin or submission.
Yeah, but with 80 gallons of mimosa in there, is there really any chance anybody's getting pinned or submitted?
I honestly hope
No.
it's Jericho, to be 100% honest.
Somebody's going in that mimosa.
I hope Jericho goes in the mimosa. I think it'll be the best way for it to finish. But we're getting a mimosa mayhem match, and then they attack Cassidy and pour champagne all over him. My wife says when I'm watching it back, she's like, "Why does that look like a cheaply shot porno?" I was like,
because they're wheelbarrowing Orange Cassidy.
It covered in champagne with foam. Yeah, it looked wrong. Just bad. All right, then you get the Elite defeating Dark Order with when Kenny Omega scores a pin on John Silver, extending this feud, Dark Order and the Elite.
Did he pin Silver? I could have swore it was Alan Angels that took the fall.
The reports all show John Silver.
Oh.
They were all wearing masks, so who knows?
I was going to say, I could have swore it was Angels that took the loss.
I'll have to watch it back to be double sure. Then you get Darby Allin versus Will Hobbs. Can you guess how this match ended? But then after the match, you get Taz cut a promo on him, introduce Ricky Starks and Darby Allin. Darby Allin. It was actually Ricky. He called him Ricky Allen is what he called him when he came out. He's got the face paint on, carrying a skateboard, and they just beat the crap out of him. Yeah, it was okay. It's going to be an interesting, match between the two, but I just don't see how big it's going to get. It's a blood feud. Then they introduced in a video package Thunder Rosa, who has her eyes set on the AEW World Championship. So you get the NWA World Champion or Women's World Champion going after the AEW Women's World Championship.
I kind of like it.
I'm good with it.
I can do it.
The women's division's really bad right now, so they got to switch it up.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because did you watch Rebel in that 2-on-1 match? She looked god awful.
I mean, the next best person is probably.
What's worse than calling someone green in the ring?
Well, poop.
Well, it's greener than goose shit, but I mean, I'm trying to find a worse analogy for. I mean,
like when Penelope did the backhand spring elbow into the corner, and Rebel, tried to do her thing into the corner. She was like prancing into the corner. It was like, it was bad.
There's no ring timing, no ring awareness. Then we go into the finals of the Deadly Draw Tag Team Tournament, which ended up being Ivelisse and Diamante versus the Nightmare Sisters. Now, of all the matches in this tag tournament, this one should have been on YouTube. This did not belong. I'm sorry to all the women in it, but this was a sloppy match. It wasn't that entertaining. I understand it's the finals. Thank God they didn't try and push it to put it on All Out, because that would have been a disappointing All Out. It would have had to have been on the the pre-show if they were doing one.
I completely agree with you. It was very underwhelming.
Yeah, so you end up with Ivelisse and Diamante winning. They're your first Deadly Draw Women's Tag Team Tournament winners. Medusa came out, did the trophy presentation, gave them their medals. They celebrated with their flags and left.
Medusa was just out there awkwardly because they already had everything out there.
I'm sorry, Medusa's out there awkwardly anytime she's out there.
Yeah, it was weird, but
then we get our main event of Saturday Night Dynamite, which was Brody Lee versus Cody for the TNT Championship. This
was kind of shocking. Like, okay, we already knew what the result was.
Squash.
Yeah, that's the shocking part. Is how it was a squash match.
Cody got a quick burst in, and then nothing but just domination.
Yeah.
Now, we'll just get it out of the way. If you don't know, you don't know. Tough. Brody Lee is your new TNT champion. The thing that people got to realize is Cody's getting ready to go do some filming on Stars with Stephen Amell. He's got a show, I think it's called Heels. Not anything to do with the Heels from AEW, but it's a superhero show.
Mm-hmm.
And Stephen Amell contacted Cody to be on the show, and he's got a reoccurring spot, so he's got to go do filming. So he's going to be out for an extended period of time. That's why they pushed it as such a big injury. That's why the brawl after the match, and that's why they put him off the stretcher, and that's why they hit him with the old belt that was broken up. It's just...
But how's that going to work when he's going into the Horsemen?
He may not be the original fourth member. It may be Sean Spears, and they switched someone out.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because Spears is already with Tully.
Yeah.
It's going to be Hangman and FDR.
But if you're using Spears as your headlining member of the Horsemen, that becomes an underwhelming stable.
It's just the new version. Headlining. Well, technically, the headlining member of that stable would be Paige.
Would be Hangman,
No,
yeah.
Paige is your young emerging star.
No, Spears would be that. You'd
No.
reverse them.
The way everything's built in AEW right now, Spears is on Dark more than anything. He's your emerging star.
Yeah.
Paige he's done the Casino Royale Battle Royale. He's had a championship match. He's carried gold in the company. He's going to be your top build character until Cody's available to come in.
Yep.
I don't like it.
Yeah,
Don't
it'll
have
be
to.
fine.
It'll work. I mean, so that's why Cody lost the way he did. That's why they had to destroy him to make it look so bad. I also know that belt they destroyed over Cody's head, that was in the sack, wasn't the actual one he carried. It was a replica they bought off eBay because Cody is keeping the original one.
I did like that they also did beat up the whole entire Nightmare family too.
Yeah, they didn't just stop at him.
Including Randy.
Yeah, was
Yeah,
Tay
with
Conte?
Anna Jay.
Anna Jay, sorry.
Anna Jay.
Anna Jay comes out and chokes out Brandy. You've got Dustin getting slaughtered, QT getting slaughtered. It was perfect. The way they did it was really well.
Anna Jay's gonna be
even
the
got
next
Arn.
number one contender. I already see it coming.
I'll say they even took out Arn.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they attacked Arn.
Yep. But yeah,
Which I think is going to give Arn more reason to go help Tully, because he can see that the Nightmare family can't do anything with it. He's stuck. So that gives him more of a reason to go help create the new four.
Okay, if we can't, and that gives me an idea. If we can't get Cody right away, and we're gonna split up the Nightmare family, Dustin.
No.
Yes, Dustin
But
could be
you know
the
who I
leading
would say?
member of
You know who
Full
I would say would be if you
No.
wanted someone other than Sean Spears as your placeholder. Kenny Omega.
No.
No,
Because you gotta remember,
that's not going to work.
He's already on the outs with the Elite as it is. Him and the Young Bucks are already in disagreements. They're already not seeing eye to eye. It works with him splitting. He's not involved with FTR as much, but it could work in that sense.
That doesn't work with my up and coming prediction.
Because Paige helping out
Oh, man.
Paige helping out FTR is what breaks up Cole or breaks up
Exactly.
Paige and Omega.
Oh, I agree with you. That's what happens. I agree with you on that. I'm just saying, with your logic, you could easily use Kenny Omega as a placeholder for Cody until it's time for him to come in. Cody and him have history. That would be a hell of a match to have him come in and take Omega out for a little while. Again, you don't have to agree. It's just theories. But that was Saturday Night Dynamite.
Yep.
So now we go into Thursday Night Dynamite, which I think actually I enjoyed it better.
Yes, I love Thursday.
I did too. I like Thursday better than Saturday.
So Thursday Night Dynamite, we had a tag gauntlet match, which was actually really good. You started with the Bucks versus National Nightmares, and your winners were the Bucks.
Yep.
Then you had Bucks versus Best Friends, and
Adam
this is
Page
where you had
screws it over.
exactly had Adam
Yep.
Page hold the Bucks, stop them from winning. Your winners are the Best Friends. So then you have the Best Friends versus FTR. And FTR wins, making them the number one contenders for Omega and Page's tag titles at All Out.
Yeah,
it worked
loved
perfect.
it. Yep.
I thought that was such a good match. The fact that they did it in a gauntlet match, I loved it. It was great.
And it was good to have them still avoid FTR and Young Bucks facing each other. because they're hyping that up for a bigger pay-per-view.
Yeah, that's going to be a big pay-per-view match down the line.
Yep.
Your match 2, this is being used as a means to an end. I get that, but anytime you hear Lance Archer, whoever's in the match with him is getting destroyed. I don't know why they even do it. They play up the fact that he's 13-1, and his only losses to Cody. So
they had an NXT guy come though, Sean Moletta.
Yeah,
he's related to all the Samoans in WWE.
Yeah, they even said he's the nephew of Afa.
He is an Anawahi family member.
So Wait a second. They were saying that there was someone leaking information out about the events beforehand, because they may have recorded, because this wasn't live. They could have recorded it earlier in the week. Maybe
this one was live. Well, they had live up in the top corner on this one.
This was Thursday. Was
Thursday,
live.
Yeah.
Was it? Okay. I was gonna say maybe they just brought him in so they could beat the crap out of him because he may have been the one spilling the beans.
No, I still think it was. I still think it was that.
Lance Archer's gonna kill you. You know.
I still think it was that Bononi guy because I haven't seen him since.
Could be. So, you have Jake Roberts in there. They're talking about, he's going to be in the Casino Royale Battle Royale. So now he's going to be in the Battle Royale again. Hasn't he done this before?
No. The funny thing about that Battle Royale is they showed only 2 people. It was Lance Archer and Darby Allin. And it said it was a 20-man Battle Royale, and there was only 2 people pictured.
21
because
man.
They had the 21 man. They hadn't picked all the people.
It's casino. It's blackjack.
I know, but it's still funny that they only had 2 guys pictured in it.
Because only 2 people had signed up yet.
Well, Cage is
until
in it.
I was saying until about two minutes after what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Then it's 4 people, because Cage and Starks
and Darby.
And yeah. So it's growing, but so now you have a former winner of it with Cage in there.
Cage didn't win a Casino Royale Battle Royal. He won.
Oh, he won the ladder match, didn't he? Yeah.
He won the ladder match.
Yeah. Either way, he won a chip.
And they're playing off the fact that Archer's going to eliminate every single participant in the Battle Royal, which
never
has
happens.
Never, ever happened.
Almost happened with Brock Lesnar on that Royal Rumble.
Which is why I can see them doing it, because it's never happened before.
But that was so bad when Brock Lesnar did it in the Royal Rumble. People were bored.
Oh my God. I have never been, speaking of the Royal Rumble, I have never been so upset yet so happy in one Royal Rumble ever.
Right?
Yep.
Because I was
so
bad
beyond
that Brock
pissed.
was
doing that.
Yep.
Then you
At
get
the
Edge
beginning
and then
half.
Drew McIntyre. Oh my God.
Yeah, and then I was so ecstatic by the end of it. I was like, I've never been on that much of a roller coaster in one Rumble ever.
Correct. Yep.
So then we get an MJF promo. MJF shown with neck brace and a walker. I love how he's doing this whole injured gimmick thing. I think it's hilarious. He's berating his handlers and his security, walking slowly to the ring and grimacing the whole way. Great shit.
And that little secretary he's got, man, she has got a creepy smile.
Well,
that's the funniest thing about her. He keeps making her smile.
He keeps telling her, smile. You got to smile. So she smiles.
He acts like he's going to slap her if she doesn't smile.
And it's just
such a
creepy.
Smile. It's hilarious.
It's awesome.
And I really think someone's got to be listening to our show, because we've got a contract signing without any physicality here.
Yeah, but it did have a big swerve in it.
The swerve was hilarious, though. I love the swerve. That was great. So you get
Loudmouth attorney guy.
And I love the fact that MJF is even playing up, hey, tell your wife I'm single. It's because Renee Young is no longer with WWE. She has a non-compete, but she will be in AEW, I guarantee you.
There's only 2 places she can go. Either AEW, but I also heard ESPN is a legit option for Renee Young.
I could see ESPN. I also think she's just going to go on with her cookbook stuff, too.
She could also go to Fox, because Fox liked her when she was doing the
but if she was
backstage.
with Fox, if she goes to Fox, they already have a working relationship with WWE. She would have never had to leave WWE.
Except maybe they could be doing their own show on, Fox Sports, talking about wrestling or something else, bringing into a different relationship. It's just another option, obviously.
Pull the CM Punk.
Exactly.
Yeah, because he was never signed by WWE.
Yeah. So, but it was entertaining. I love this whole thing, and you get the sign on it, and then you get the reveal of Moxley's addition to the contract, and I can't wait to see that lawyer get the shit kicked out of him next week.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's been running his jaw the last 2 weeks, so he deserves it.
And the paradigm shift is legal.
It's legal.
In that match.
It's gonna be a bumpy ride. Hope you bring a helmet.
Seriously,
That was the best
pads,
line.
Wear a helmet.
That was the best line. He puts his arms around the lawyers. Says, it's gonna be a bumpy ride. Hope you bring a helmet.
Oh, that's gonna be great.
Wait,
All
you
right,
didn't
then-
read the contract? You always read a contract before you sign it.
Thanks for putting that thing on page 17 for me. I really appreciate it. Page 17. It was only 16. What? They played it so good. I enjoyed it. I'm glad it didn't just rise to obviously someone going through the table. I love that Moxley even made that comment, and I didn't even have to put you through the table. I love that they played into that, and it was really good. Next, you get your third match of the night: Butcher Blade, Lucha Brothers with Kingston versus Brian Pillman Jr., Sonny Kiss, Joey Janela, and Griff Garrison. Do we
I am
want to guess
glad-
where this match is going?
I'm glad Pillman Jr. got on actual Dynamite.
Right, got
and not
some
on
actual
Dark.
TV time. Right, it's good to see Pillman.
And that guy,
getting
that
some
kid
airtime.
that kid has got a future in AEW because they did nothing but talk him up the entire time.
Oh yeah, JR says, "Man, he looks just like his dad," and
Which he does. He
does.
bears a
Jared-
striking
Jared-
resemblance to
Jericho
Brian
even
Pillman.
said, as long as he's not as crazy as his dad, playing up the whole loose cannon, which I think that would be pretty funny to see him play that loose cannon character
The loose cannon was one of the best gimmicks ever.
until he pulls out a 9.
Even that was pretty good.
It was good, but oh my god, that was
That was
where would they
major backlash.
Where would they push the envelope now? I mean, what would he have to pull out? An AK? It's
Like that particular segment you're talking about was so real. Kevin Kelly probably pissed his pants.
well, you listen to Bruce Pritchard talk about it and how he had to call 2 different police departments because they're on a border of 2 cities, and he had to stand out in front. No, we're filming. It's okay. It's not real. He told Austin, go ahead and do it after you do come in, because he ended up destroying a couple doors and damaging cars. And oh man, anyways, we're off the rail on that completely.
So, but that was
Matt-
such a Vince McMahonism. That was such good shit.
Exactly. And actually, this match was really good. And Pillman got some offense. He got to see some ring work from him. But your winners were Butcher Blade, Lucha Brothers with Kingston. Announcing one of the Lucha Brothers is in the Battle Royal.
I think it was Pentagon.
I thought it was Phoenix.
They're probably both in it.
Yeah, who knows? All right, so this takes us into the 3-on-1 handicap match of Britt Baker, Penelope Ford, and Reba versus Kip Sabian versus Big Swole.
I hated this. I hated everything
was-
about this match.
This was dumb. Yeah.
I was entertained by the fact that Britt Baker's in the match, but in the wheelchair the whole time, and they can't run away because she's on a lower stair. I was entertained by that, but nonetheless, it was not the best outing. Obviously, Reba is not fully trained. Seriously, what's worse than greener than goose shit? Because that was
her. She was greener than a freshly packed one hitter.
oh my god, it was bad. It was. But your winner of that match was Big Swole. Then you get your main event of the night, which was your tables match, Sammy Guevara versus Matt Hardy, which
Ended way too abruptly for me.
Yeah, this was a short match. There were TV time left. It wasn't. It could have been better. It really could have. But I knew it was going to be Matt going through the table.
Well, yeah, you had to continue the story.
And he's the
Not
tables
ending-
expert.
Yeah, you're not ending that story right now.
I don't think Guevara has enough experience going through tables to know what he's doing yet.
The best part of this match was when Guevara won and then Cassie's music hits and he just bolts in the background.
Yeah, he was like
That was amazing.
he was like a flash.
Yeah.
I was
You
like,
just
oh
see
my
a
god,
flash
he
move.
ran.
You see a streak of denim run across the screen. And then when you look over there, you see the backdrop for the announcers falling over.
Just
The
fall-
Oh
monitor
yeah,
thing.
they're checking out
Shivani-
JR. They're like, "Are you okay, JR? Are you okay?"
Shivani and JR was like, I had to get the hell out of there. You know?
No, it was hilarious. Like JR kind of went like actual like human beings. Like, what the hell's wrong with you? Because they almost took him out.
That was entertaining. I did enjoy
My
that,
God.
'cause
My God, it's a
realistically,
slobber knocker.
You never see Cassidy move quick. Even in a match, he does.
I didn't even think he was capable of running.
At least not at that sprint. I mean, he can run when he gets it off the, gets the rebound off the ropes. And,
Right, and that's not even that's more recoil than anything else.
exactly.
Do you guys want to talk at all about the Brody Lee celebration or not? I don't care.
That was really a YouTube video, and they talked about everything they bought that they showed. They talked about it in the Being the Elite video this week, as they were eating Chili's in the bar upstairs at Daly's place.
Well, and that's the other thing that we didn't talk about from this episode. The Bucks kicked out
Yeah, that's
Hangman
true.
Page from
Yeah.
the
Yeah, he's out of the Elite. Yep.
They came into the bar, found him, asked him what the hell was up. Just
said you're nothing but a drunk and threw the whiskey in his face and said you're out.
And he actually looked like he was upset that he was out of the Elite.
But all it's
he's,
doing is it's doing this. It's setting
Yeah,
up. It's
but
setting up the Four Horsemen.
It's kind of funny that
Excuse me. The new
new horseman. Yeah.
But it looked like it was kind of weird that he looked like he was upset. I think it was just I'm like really intoxicated is what he was playing off, because any other week it looks like he doesn't give a shit if he's in the Elite or not. So
Yeah. He's been over it, but I think what it is in this, he's torn because all of them are his friends. He considers them his friends, and he doesn't know which way to go.
yeah,
And the way FTR put it to him previously is like, if it's the Bucks, you're going to have to face the Bucks. Wouldn't you rather face us? It's that
because
whole
if
thing.
the Bucks win, you're back in the shadow of the Bucks.
Exactly. You want to get out of the shadow of the Bucks. So he's listening to what FTR is telling him, but at the same time, it's eliminating him from the Elite, which honestly, I really think it's a good thing to get him out of the Elite, because it is going to let Hangman stand on his own. It is going to let him be more for him instead of just another guy in the background.
And that is my other bold prediction of the show. If the Bucks do eventually become AEW Tag Team Champions, they're taking the belts off of FTR.
Yeah, that would be the only
I
way
can
to
see
do
that.
it.
Yeah,
Although, what I did enjoy is Jericho on commentary this week.
Yeah,
Excalibur still hasn't got back onto actual television yet. He's still he was there. He was in the arena. He wasn't shown anywhere, but he was there because he is working again. But I really liked how Jericho actually said, when they were fighting out around the ring, and says, "Out there with all the young boys," referencing New Japan and how they treat the younger talent and the undercarder. It's like, I was like, oh, cool. They're actually kind of putting that out there, letting some, because that's what Adam Page was. He was a young boy when he was brought, before he got to AEW. He hadn't even really yet developed a lot. He's done a lot of development since New Japan to here.
Yeah, because I remember going to the original Double or Nothing, and you didn't know squat about Adam Page at that time.
So, I mean, it was an entertaining show. I enjoyed it.
yeah, it was.
So, Chris, I think this takes us into NXT for the 26th.
All right, let's get NXT. Started off with Karrion Kross.
I was to say we completely destroyed Karrion Kross for absolutely no reason now.
You mean
Or
Keith Lee?
Keith Lee. We just completely destroyed Keith Lee for now absolutely no reason whatsoever.
Yeah, they look dumb right now, but I saw it coming. They had so much hype on Karrion Kross, even though we're not a huge fan of him. They just, anywhere he touches, I think it's in his contract, I'm white hot, and you're going to push me to the top.
Oh, kind of like what Neville demands every place he goes?
Or Brock. That's what I felt like it was a Brock thing, but
Because that's why Neville left AEW, because they weren't pushing him towards the championship right away.
Did they do a thing like with Kevin Nash and let him in the booking meeting, let him start booking the matches or something? Because it was just that. It was along that level. It's like, I can't lose. Can't be pinned. Sorry.
Yep. So he does have to relinquish the title. And, I mean, I'm just going to spoil it now. Later on, they say they came to the decision that they're going to have 4 former champions.
I'm excited about
four-way.
this. By the way.
Next week.
This is going to be really good, I think. But
On a
I
special
do like,
Tuesday edition of NXT. Thank you,
Yeah.
NHL.
I was
No,
wondering why it was Tuesday. I couldn't figure
I
that
will
out.
say this. I will say this. I do like how he relinquished it, where he hands it to Scarlett and she does it. Where it wasn't him setting it down, it's like he hands it off because it's too. Obviously, that's the whole gimmick he has with her. She's like his in between, but
Yeah.
it really gives the whole thing is like, I can't do it. Here, you do it. You know.
Yeah, the guy could cut some promos, and his gimmick that he had with NXT was great. It's just he's not that great of a wrestler.
No, he's not. He really isn't. And I get they see he has a great look. He has a great persona. He has a lot of charisma. He can play to the crowd really well. It's just when the bell rings.
Yeah,
he
they
falls
live
flat.
on his background too much of like, oh, he was MMA and
I
did
cannot wait.
shoot wrestling, and I don't know. It's just,
I cannot wait for Karrion Kross to go to Triple H and try to have Karrion Kross tell Triple H he's not getting color.
Because Triple H will fucking hit him with a sledgehammer and give him some color right then. It's like, oh, really?
Exactly. I cannot wait for Triple H to be like, all right, Karrion, you're doing the job tonight. You're getting color. And he says no, and just wait for Triple H's reaction.
so our fatal four-way for next week is going to be Finn Balor, Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, and who's the other one? Oh, Adam Cole.
So are we making predictions on it? Not that this has anything to do with
Balor.
this, just for fun, but I say Balor as well.
I'm standing by it, and it's definitely because later in the show it's going to be Ciampa. As you see him later in the show, he's going back to his old ways, and he's going to be back.
I wouldn't be mad about it being Ciampa. I just would like to see Finn Balor get a little bit more behind him again.
Yeah, the two as long as one of the two winds up walking out with it, I don't care. It's Balor and Ciampa.
Okay, I'll agree with Steve completely on that. Balor or Ciampa's fine with me. I don't see it being Cole because there's
I
too
don't
much
see
up in the
Cole
air
either.
about him, and I think whoever ends up with it will have a good feud with Gargano either way. Even though I know you don't want to see Ciampa Gargano ever again, you know they can put on a good match, and putting it for a belt would make sense. Balor and Gargano can go good. Even Balor and Ciampa can go good.
I like more Gargano going after the North American title against like Priest, and then having Ciampa go against some babyface, which I can't think of off the top of my head.
Here's a match that I especially if Balor wins it, I would absolutely love to see, and especially for the NXT Championship at some point. It's not going to happen right away. But our boy Austin Theory was back on NXT this show.
That's right. He is permanently part of NXT again. He's been dropped from the main roster.
So Balor versus Theory, shut up and take my money.
But not for the title.
No, eventually put him in a rivalry which culminates in a title match. So you have the beginnings of a blood feud between two of the most athletic guys in NXT, and then for the blowout match you make it for the belt.
You make it for the NXT North American, I think. I don't think the heavyweight.
I can see Theory as being an NXT champion.
They could do heavyweight because they did it with Andrade when everybody thought it was too early, and he impressed all of us. So,
Theory, we've seen a lot about Theory. We've seen Theory in person, but the thing is, for the WWE machine, I don't think he is ready to be a heavyweight champion. I don't think he's ready to be their top champ of a brand. I think he needs to carry a mid card first.
We said this all about Andrade like 2 years ago.
And the other thing that I love about the whole Theory versus Balor thing is the last time Theory was at Southern Honor, I was sitting next to Ben Carson, and I looked over at Ben and said, "This guy reminds me so much of Finn Balor, it's crazy."
Yeah, and granted, that was said about Andrade 2 years ago. And then look, when he hit the main roster, all he did was carry that U.S. title for how long?
He had for a while, I think.
Yeah, he's not ready for – Andrade's not ready for a top title, and neither is Theory.
Main roster.
But he carried the top title in NXT extremely well.
Yeah, he did. And he shocked everyone because nobody thought he was going to beat Drew.
I didn't care for his whole thing when he got the title when he beat Black, because obviously I'm an Aleister Black fan, and I thought his reign was too short.
It was Aleister Black.
They might go really well. They work really well together. I just didn't care for it with his feud being so quick and his reign being so short.
Yeah. All right, so next we get tag team title match. We get Breezango, which are the number one contenders against Imperium. I called it beforehand. I was predicting that Breezango was going to win it because I feel like they announced that NXT UK is getting back together.
Yeah, and Imperium's going back to the UK.
Yeah, and they were doing a lot of promos with Walter, so I was like, "Yep, they're going back to UK."
Well, and I think that in it, the brass at NXT, Triple H, Matt Bloom, William Regal, I think they realized how badly they screwed the pooch by putting the NXT titles on Emporium.
Yeah,
that they had to get them off of them, and they didn't really care who took them off of them.
Yep, and I don't think Breezango is going to have him very long. This match was actually pretty good. I can't stand Breezango, but
I loved the double leg drop finish. That was cool.
Yep. Breezango or Fandango, he can do an awesome top rope leg drop.
Fandango can go in the ring. He just needs a better gimmick.
He actually had a good gimmick the first time he was in NXT when he was Johnny Curtis.
Yeah.
He wasn't that bad.
Well, no, that was his name. That was the guy without a gimmick.
Yeah, he was just the guy that walked around in a leather coat. He was like Johnny Gargano now. He looked like a Johnny Gargano back then. So then next we get Tommaso Ciampa coming back, and he goes against Jake Atlas and destroys him.
Well, yeah, because it's Jake Atlas. You knew what was happening before it happened.
I mean, even Jake Atlas knew he had a big gulp before Ciampa even walked into the ring.
Anytime I get to see Ciampa, a person that uses DDPY for recovery and keeps with it, come into the ring and destroy someone, I'm happy.
Well, and I love the fact that he's wearing the black mask and stuff.
Yeah, that was interesting. Yeah,
that looked cool.
But it was also really cool when he got Jake Atlas under the ring and
slingshot
him up.
Ass.
Yep, slingshot him up, and that felt very like
the only thing that was
Kevin
missing,
Owens type of thing.
The only thing that was missing from that entire segment when he jumped up on the apron was the self pat on the back.
Yeah,
the clap and the self pat on the back. That was the only thing that was missing.
I feel like he's trying to go and he's like, I'm going into this dark place now, like he did the first time with Gargano.
Well, you could still do that as a dark thing because instead of getting the crowd to interact and cheer, it becomes a mocking term, a mocking gesture.
True, but it's also considered comedy, and he wants to be more serious. To me, I look at that as comedy. I laugh at something like that. Like, hey, he's patting himself on the back. That's pretty damn funny.
It also just comes off as extremely arrogant and heelish. Yeah. So it works on two levels because like the Miz and Morrison, they're being comedic, but a lot of their stuff is comedy heel work. It's we're being heelishly but funny at the same time. That where it's a weird between level with comedy and heel work.
See, and if you want to change it up and not have it be the comedy spot, you can have him wipe his hands off and then pat himself on the back, but not have the overwhelming like facial animations that he used to when he was a face and doing it.
Or he could just do what he used to do and just do the creepy wave, as he's like he creep waves him while he's getting stretchered off. I love the creepy wave.
I wouldn't. You'd have to stretch her off more people. I wouldn't mind it though.
Yeah. All right, so next we get the worst match of the night. We get Shotzi Blackheart against Mia Yim, but Shotzi Blackheart runs over Robert Stone with her.
That was the best part of the entire segment.
No complaints on my end, that's for sure.
Was the fact that the tank has 3 victories to Robert Stone's 0.
But this tank, they make it seem like it weighs so much, but you can tell it.
And the fact that the referees had to carry Robert Stone out, that was hilarious.
It's a freaking Power Wheels, man.
And we didn't mention a single thing about this. How good was it to have Wade Barrett on commentary?
He was actually really good. I enjoyed him a lot.
Like seriously,
did you see the Twitter exchange between him and Bray Wyatt?
No.
So Bray says, "Welcome back. Are you reforming the Nexus?" And then Wade Barrett says, "Only if I can lead again."
I I liked how Wade Barrett invited himself back to next week because of the Fatal 4-Way. He's like, oh, by the way, I'm going to be back next week just to do this.
Well, from what I've read, he's brought in as a permanent member of commentary for NXT now.
You know what? The best commentary team that they could put together for NXT, in my opinion, would be Beth Phoenix. And this is granted if we're not going to have Ruben Manalo as a permanent commentary member. You have Beth Phoenix, Wade Barrett, and Nigel McGuinness.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I would miss Morrow, though. I'm a huge Morrow fan.
I like Morrow too, but he's missing so much work lately.
Well, he's got bipolar issues, so.
Oh, I know, but I'm saying if he can't be a permanent commentary member anymore, that's the team I would assemble.
Yeah. I'm not a huge Beth Phoenix fan, I'll be honest.
I as long as she's doing color analyst work, she's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, she hasn't been bad ately. So we already talked about the 4-way match. So next
the other part of the Mia Yim and Shotzi Blackheart that I thought was funny, there was a point in the match where Shotzi grabs Mia Yim's legs and does the Jeff Hardy double leg drop to what Jim Ross effectively calls the lower abdominal region. And Shotzi gets up and screams, "Ball pit." Newsflash there, Shotzi, there's no balls in that ball pit when you're doing it to Mia Yim.
Jeez.
Just yell out "Fupa" next time.
So then we get
But it's like she's like, "Ball pit." I'm like, not when you're doing it to a female there, sweetheart. There's no balls in that ball pit.
So we get our Cruiserweight Championship match next. This actually was a pretty good match.
I actually thought that I was going to have zero interest in this match, even though I do love Isaiah Swerve Scott. I hate the Cruiserweight champion just that much. But after the first couple of minutes of this match, this turned out to be a really good match. It really ended strong.
I like Santos Escobar, but that's because I was a huge fan of him in Lucha Underground as King Cordo. So
yeah, he was great. He was great in Lucha Underground. I haven't been able to get behind him on NXT yet. But then again, regularly watch 205 Live, so I don't really see it too often. So
the other part of it is obviously he made it plainly obvious that the Lucha mask was loaded.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, it was the power of the mask." Okay, commentary team, why don't you just point out the obvious and be like, there was obviously something in that mask. The mask was loaded, and that's why it knocked Isaiah Swerve Scott clean the fuck out.
I thought that was a good finish.
He may as well have been William Regal with the brass knucks,
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And he might keep doing that, and so I like that finish.
But all I'm asking is the commentary team to point out the obvious and not be stupid and be like, "Oh, sometimes a headbutt will just knock you out, so you never know."
Give him a kiss.
I've seen headbutts knock people out, but yeah.
It was obvious because he set up whatever was loaded in there and tapped on it. It was obvious the mask was loaded.
He had to make sure it was in the right spot so he didn't knock himself out, man.
All right, so after that we get Kyle O'Reilly against Drake Maverick, and whatever.
Wasn't a bad match. Didn't blow my socks off.
This match
they don't know what to do with Undisputed Era. That's what's pissing me off about it.
This match reminded me of you picking up like a group of people picking on the runt in the playground, and then the runt's big brother shows up.
Yeah.
And everybody scatters.
And then the runt's big brother just knocks the little runt out.
Exactly. "Oh, thanks for coming to defend me." Bam! Don't get yourself in that position.
Oh, man. And it's just because of his size. Drake Maverick reminds me so much of Spike Dudley.
Yes.
Dude, he actually was trying to pull off an LSD.
Yeah.
If he could actually just take bumps like Spike Dudley used to, let's him get ragdolled, thrown through walls. Yeah, great. Perfect.
He actually attempted the Spike Dudley finish, the LSD, the climbing turnbuckle bulldog. He tried it in this match.
Yeah. So, it feels like whenever you're a little guy like that, you have to do that move. But
yeah, how else does it work? being the giant killer. I mean, that would be where they should have put Drake. I mean, I like that they're making him more. He's this great wrestler. They're actually letting him work on his wrestling ability, and I love that. But if you're looking to use him in a funny aspect, you got to make him like Spike and just have him try and go after all the big guys and get occasional wins. Imagine him going up against Big Show and getting a win. That would be hilarious.
I like what you were saying before. I want them to have some GIFs and some memes of him just getting launched throughout the arena somewhere.
Yeah,
and that was the thing is they announced him at 145 pounds. I'm like, man, he must have had a really big lunch.
He's 145 pounds soaking wet if he's lucky.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, he must have had a really big lunch and then weighed in right after.
I think Florida has a weight limit for getting in the ring. I think you have to be over like 130 or something.
Oh wow!
Because the last time I actually had checked wrestlers' weights, this was back when he was Rockstar Spud, and they had him listed at 125 pounds.
He could have put on some muscle though. WWE usually makes their guys beef up a little bit.
Yeah. So then we get. Is this the main event? Yeah, this is the main event. We get Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez versus Io and Rhea Ripley. And Dakota Kai and Raquel win because Mercedes Martinez gets involved and messes up Rhea.
And I know you love Io, but her entrance
is amazing.
I can't stand it. It looks like she's having convulsions on the way to the ring.
It's the best.
No, it's
what?
Stupid. It looks like she's having a seizure as she's walking to the ring.
I love the strobes. It made more sense when she was heel. It doesn't make much sense now, but
I mean, obviously Chris has never known anyone that has epilepsy from strobes, so
I actually dated somebody that had epilepsy, and it was scary as hell.
Okay, so why would you enjoy this entrance?
I like it. I always have. I
hated
hated her first.
Come on, he can't hate anything.
It's actually anything Io since she did that heel turn. Because when she first came in, I was not a fan of her at all. When she had the mask.
I mean, like, is it like some Japanese pop thing where they do that kind of crap, or what?
You want a history lesson? I don't know.
Yeah, Professor
like,
Chris,
is that common? Is that
J-pop?
Tell me all about Tokyo, Japan, Professor Chris.
I was saying, no, like seriously, is that like commonplace in Japan for people to be flailing around like that with music?
I'm sorry, I know Steve. I don't listen to K-pop, man.
They do a lot of strobing effects in Japan with different things, but I don't know about the whole BS.
That is her playing off I Snapped from like 6 months ago.
Okay,
she's
you get it.
Still
you snapped. Everyone that snaps eventually comes back, and it doesn't take 6 months.
She's still there. Hey, she's got the championship. That's all that matters.
Like, and I love Io. I love her work, but the entrance is beyond stupid.
So that's NXT. It was overall, I thought it was really good.
I enjoyed NXT a lot. I didn't enjoy it as much as I enjoyed Thursday Night Dynamite, but
I don't know, man.
I enjoyed
NXT was
Thursday
really
Night
good this
Dynamite.
week.
NXT was good, but I enjoyed AEW a lot better this week. I'll tell you what I didn't enjoy more than it. Impact.
So now we're going on to SmackDown, which
Yes,
was
sir.
a good show. It was a good show.
SmackDown was entertaining. We had twists, turns, surprises. It was entertaining.
I'm just waiting for SmackDown to finally make the switch to the TV14 that they're making the switch to.
It's coming. I'm sure it is. Fox is going to say, you know what? Yeah, we need it.
No, they've already made the announcement that it's going to switch. It's going to go to TV14. It just hasn't happened yet.
Yeah. So we start off the night with Adam Pearce. To those of you in the independent circles know him as Scrap Iron Adam Pearce. Talking to Vince, and he's got to go get signatures for the main event for Payback.
Question: I rewatched this like 5 or 6 times. Who was Vince talking about with the loud burps? I couldn't understand the name he said.
I don't know.
He's like, man, that guy burps loud.
I think he's talking about Braun.
Probably.
It may have been, but I couldn't understand the name, so I replayed it like 5 or 6 times and still never could understand it.
Yeah, I love the whole thing where he says, "I need you to get this done today," and
Here's a special outfit.
here's a special outfit to go see Bray Wyatt. You know, which was hilarious. We then go into the first match tonight. Jeff Hardy kicked off in the Thunderdome.
Yeah, thanks for the swerve, because y'all told me something was going on with the IC belt, and I was like, oh, Jeff's gonna lose it. No, something even weirder happened. Thanks.
Hey, we didn't want to give away the special, outcome. It was entertaining.
Yeah.
So you get AJ Styles interrupting him. Complaining he's a cheater. He had illegal objects strapped to his leg that caused him the victory, which I think is funny as a way of a heel playing up, his loss. I was kind of.
Well, here's the thing. Austin wrestled with 2 of those for the last 5 years of his career.
Triple H. He did it too.
Yeah.
Everybody wears them. Now all of a sudden it's illegal.
Yeah. And that's the heel thing. That's like he could have had an ace bandage on his ankle and said, that's illegal. That's illegal. You can't have an ace bandage,
That's a performance enhancer.
Exactly. So I thought it was really entertaining. And the only thing I'm getting tired of is everyone issuing open challenges. John Cena made the open challenge work. I enjoyed it when he did the open challenge because that brought us some great stuff. That brought us Kevin Owens. That was really good. It brought some legitimacy to that U.S. title when they were doing it. But now between Cody had been doing the TNT open challenge, which is no longer happening since Brody won.
And Brody openly said no more open challenge, which was great.
Sorry, indie guys. He literally said that. Sorry, independents.
Nice.
You have Eddie Edwards doing the open challenge for the Impact Championship. You have Rohit Raji doing the open challenge for the X Division title.
It's the new face thing to do, man.
It's like, really?
It's dumb.
So he ends up with Shinsuke Nakamura coming out and challenging him for the Intercontinental title, which I enjoyed. The match wasn't bad.
And I love Cesaro's playing off on that when they interviewed him. Like,
yeah, that was cool.
He's like, I don't know. I went to make a phone call and I came back and he was gone.
And he's not answering my texts.
So Jeff Hardy gets the win. They're not going to switch the belt that quick. That would be ridiculous. I think that would really hurt the legitimacy of the IC title if they did a title swap that fast. I thought it was still quick for AJ to win it, but obviously they want to put the title on Jeff to give him a little bit more oomph. But as he's leaving, you get the return of Sami Zayn, or as I used to know him, El Generico.
With his belt.
Which is great to see, because now, maybe we'll end up with a ladder match out of it. Who knows?
That's what I was thinking. I was like, okay, Ramon Michaels all over again. I can dig it.
Because Sammy can do ladder matches. He did them in PWG. Him and Kevin Owens did a couple great ones out here. So I know Sami Zayn
isn't that the one? Wasn't that one of the ladder matches you were mentioning where like the belt fell off and kind of ruined the entire, like the belt holder fell off and kind of ruined the entire concept of the match?
Yeah, there's also one where the ladder was so tall they ended up going through the drop ceiling. It was bad. I think there was one they actually took the ceiling tiles off and used the supports from the drop ceiling because it was that tall.
I was to say, because I remember you're like, yeah, they hooked the belt onto this thing. It didn't turn out to be as stable as they thought, and the entire holder and the belt just fell.
Yeah. So I know that Sami Zayn can go in a ladder match. We know Hardy can go in a ladder match, and if they make it a 3-way and put AJ in there, it would be entertaining.
It's gonna be a triple threat.
Although rumors are they're adding it to Payback.
They had a stare down, Sammy and AJ did. So I think triple threat.
But they haven't announced them. Like, as of this moment, it's not set for Payback. So unless they're just going to do it next week on SmackDown, like they've been doing with the IC stuff all the time recently.
Which sucks.
Well, the IC,
I get why they want to do that.
The IC belt is the belt that's supposed to be defended on TV. It's the workhorse title.
Right.
That's it. The TV title's what reminds me of what's always defended on TV,
But that was the
And-
entire concept of the Intercontinental title too. That was
The
your
workhorse
best
title,
worker.
that's the
That
one-
is your workhorse.
That's the one
title.
that works on TV all the time. That's the title you're going to see more often than anything else. That's what that's supposed to be. It's the same thing with the U.S. title. Same thing with the TV titles. Same thing. That's what those are supposed to be. That the TNT Championship is supposed to be on every week of AEW because it's on TNT.
Yeah, and the fact that they're defending the TNT title on pay-per-view is stupid.
Yeah, let's not get into that. So obviously Jeff retains. Like I said, I enjoyed the match. I thought it was good. Wasn't the best match I've ever seen Jeff Hardy or Shinsuke in, but it was a good match nonetheless.
Yeah, we haven't seen Shinsuke do good work since he came up.
That's true.
Yeah, when he first came up, we were also hopeful for him, and it kind of fell flat. He didn't get the opportunities he should have. Obviously, I don't think Vince knew what to do with him.
Like
No, he was overhyped when he first came up. He won the Royal Rumble.
when he first came up, he won the Rumble. You know, that was the only time he did good work because the main roster hadn't toned him down yet.
Right. That's a very valid point. So we go backstage to see Sami Zayn walking backstage. You know, I don't want to say anything about why he's been missing for so long because, you know, Rona.
Yeah, but he's being secretive.
8 or so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think 8.
But he keeps saying that they're both fraudulent champions because he never lost and blah, blah, blah. Because, you know, you miss 4 months of TV and you're going to get stripped of the title. Unless you're Brock, you know.
It's kind of how that works.
Brock Lesnar's the only one that can pull that off. Not getting.
I think Sammy's thinking, like, you know, just because they're both Canadian, he gets an exemption.
Could be, but yeah, didn't work. So we end up at the Firefly Funhouse. And
This was
I
like-
love the Firefly Funhouse.
I love
Yeah.
the Firefly Funhouse, but this was like one of the most underwhelming Funhouses we've had.
No,
Yeah.
it was awesome, dude.
It
I
wasn't
loved
as
it.
good as some of the other ones, but it was entertaining. I really enjoyed it. I love that he reintroduced the Universal Championship to the Funhouse, that he brought it back, and it was, you know, he seemed so happy with it, and I really enjoyed that part.
This was so Mr. Rogers, Pee Wee Playhouse, all in one.
Which is exactly what it's supposed to be.
Which is
Well,
what
like I
it's
said,
supposed to
I
be, and that's why I
enjoyed
loved
it.
it. Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I'm not saying I didn't enjoy it, but it wasn't as good as some of the other ones we've seen.
I don't know. I like Postman Pierce.
Yeah, Postman Pierce was great. I love that he talked to Huskus, and he's like, "Oh, come on, Huskus," you know, just kind of talking him down. But, and then the whole thing is like, "Well, you know the Fiend. Can you sign for him?" You know, it's like
Yes.
it was entertaining. I really did enjoy it, and the fact that Adam Pearce is so willing to play a character like this for this, I think is fun. But it was a good time. Oh, and then Bray Wyatt saying he was critical about the whole ordeal and called it signing a couple of death warrants.
Yowie, wowie.
All right, then we go into Matt Riddle versus Shorty G on SmackDown. You know,
This was the worst segment of the whole
I
thing.
love Matt Riddle.
seriously, agreed.
I am like
Oh, me too.
the lead engineer on the bro train, but this was bad.
As long as you're not the bros hoe train, you're good.
Yeah, Matt Riddle's awesome, man. It's just they're putting him in a bad segment. Anything with Corbin kills the guy's career.
So
well, no,
yeah.
I'm eagerly awaiting the day Matt Riddle completely destroys Baron Corbin.
So Sunday,
Yeah, they're facing each other on Sunday.
has that
Eagerly
scepter
awaiting.
right up his ass.
I'm gonna
Sorry.
take that crown off your head, turn that some bitch sideways.
So Matt Riddle's as charismatic as a rock, or as charismatic as a rock?
Depends on how much marijuana he smoked before he got on camera.
Or shrooms he ate.
Very true.
They gave the match a C rating. It wasn't that outstanding, but it wasn't bad. Matt Riddle performed pretty well. You know, there's some pretty cool spots in it, but it wasn't the greatest thing I've ever seen. Then we go backstage and we see Otis and Tucky
Okay.
with the Money in the Bank lunchbox.
Oh, it's awesome, dude. Awesome.
Oh my god!
Playing with their wieners.
I think it was Bez Biggie. He's like, "What you got in there? You got some snacks. You got some secret snacks we don't know about yet." And I just got my meat, a big old hard salami.
That's why I'm named the Ham.
Oh my god, that was just entertaining. I really enjoyed that part.
Yeah. And it even was good with the Golden Role Models getting involved. I thought that was entertaining too.
Yeah. We get more backstage with King Corbin, which I could have done without. Then we go into the segment with the Golden Role Models in the ring where, they're talking about Sasha having a bad week and going into their match at Payback, and they get interrupted by
And
Shayna
you can
Baszler.
and you can see it all over Sasha's face. You can see what's coming.
Yeah, you can see the swerve. You see they're going to lose, and she's going to go after Bayley. I'm telling you, my prediction of this whole situation was correct. Steve, it's okay. You don't have to be right all the time.
Yeah, but once you're right all the time enough, you get used to it.
Yeah, well, get used to it. Now you're not.
And I still think my story is the better of the two stories. I don't care if my story is a shorter resolution. We've already seen it. We've already seen enough of this stupid couple. You don't need a long burn to end it.
Well, that's what they're going for. And get over it and deal with it. Then we go backstage and we see Adam Pearce looking for Braun Strowman. Gulick points him out. Gulick hits him with a chair, throws it to
What the
Pearce.
hell was this? Like,
Oh,
with Gulak.
That was
I don't know.
suicide by Braun. That's what that was.
Maybe Gulick wants to have a story with Braun. I don't know.
Yeah, it didn't make any sense. He's just like, I'm really pissed off at Braun. I'm going to hit him with the chair right
Well, it's
now.
because last week he laid him out after the Retribution attack. He just straight laid him out. And I get it. I get what they're playing off of, but it was like, this was weird.
Yeah.
I don't know if it worked really well.
Even Postman Pierce warned him, don't do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was suicide by Strowman.
Pretty much. Then still backstage, you get Cesaro walking in and singing Reunited to Cesaro and Shinsuke, where they call him out for being gone for 4 months, and we're having a championship team match and go away. And
It was
We're
That was
having an
enjoyable,
A&B
too.
conversation. See your way out.
it was
Yeah.
very enjoyable, and you felt awkward for Sammy, which is what they
Yeah,
wanted.
Yep, exactly.
Now, me being a belt mark, I don't know if you guys noticed, but he had the actual belt. He's had it this whole time. That's why the one he carried out had his nameplates on it still. Still had the Sami Zayn logos. The one that Jeff had the WWE logos on them. Okay?
He's rocking
So
a
I'm-
commemorative.
Yeah, so or a replica, not a commemorative. They're not going to have a commemorative on T. They're going to put a replica. But in this segment, it's got the WWE logos back on it,
Uh,
which tells me they finally gave the real title back to Jeff and switched out the nameplates. So I caught that. I thought it was interesting. But yeah, belt marks are that way. So let's see. Then we get Braun Strowman versus Drew Gulak.
Exactly.
Death by
a-
Strowman.
Suicide by
And-
Strowman.
And the whole thing this went down was Adam Pearce wanted the signature on the contract. He says, "You give me Gulak and I'll do it after the match." Okay, go kill him.
Yeah.
See you in a minute.
He's not that important anyway. You can have him.
Yeah,
Hey,
right.
and also, I'm loving Braun's intro now with the whole steam coming out. That's just awesome. But
And the whole Strowman Express wording behind him.
yes, I like it. But Braun,
Yeah, it was very entertaining.
if you need tips on shaving your head, man, hit me up.
He
Because
doesn't want to reopen that cut on the top of his head.
oh,
man.
he nicked himself real bad.
He got busted open pretty damn bad last week. I don't think he wanted to reopen that son of a bitch. I mean, he got some good color on SummerSlam. I'd say he wants to let that heal before he hits it with a buzzer again.
You can go over it. He's just too scared.
Being though, he doesn't shave his head as often as we do. Well, yeah.
Mine's every other day, so
I was
yep.
say wouldn't have any idea.
So this takes us into. What do you want to say to that?
I purposely just wanted silence awkwardness for Steve right there.
Oh God.
I mean, I'm the only one of the trio that can still grow a full head of hair, so.
Oh, I can. I just prefer not to. Mine is out of pure laziness. I do not want to roll out of bed and have to do my hair in the morning when I go in the office. Having a shaved head,
It's awesome.
Well,
I
if
shave in the
Chris,
shower and I'm good.
if Chris does it, he gets the whole Kane after being unmasked half moon going on.
I get the crown, man. I'm the true king.
You don't get the half head like.
No, I don't get the cane anymore. No, I've been shaving so long. It is the crown.
He's got the Hogan mullet. He's got the Hogan mullet.
Okay, Chris, you have to grow it out. You have to grow it out.
Hell no!
Come on,
Hell no!
Just wear a bandana all the time. It's fine.
I was gonna say, grow it out, wear the bandana, and let me tell you something, brother.
You can instead of Hogan, you can do the Macho Man hairdo. Come on, man, it's the same idea.
Yeah, same thing.
Just depends on how thin your hair is.
I'm out.
So this takes us into Kalisto versus Cesaro. Sportskeeda gave it a B-. It's building up for a match between Kalisto and Dorado is what it's doing.
Yeah, we don't care.
Exactly. It wasn't that entertaining.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know why they're working on that storyline because nobody gives a damn.
Yeah. Backstage, we see Pierce talking to Vince again. I've got 2 out of the 3. I can't get it. Roman to answer his door. You go knock the door down then. It's like Vince is playing this whole thing really good.
Yeah,
because even in the beginning when Pierce tried to give him the fist bump or the elbow, he's like, no.
Yeah.
It's like, obviously I'm not touching you. I mean, he's in his 70s. He's worried about the Rona.
No, it was just really funny how Vince was like, yeah, you just kind of go push the door down and it'll go flying. And
he's like,
yeah,
let's go do it.
No, it was just kind of how Pierce said it back to me. He was just like, yeah, if you did push a door, it's gonna go forward.
And then Vince is like, yeah, let's go do it. Like Vince is gonna go help him. No, Vince is gonna watch you bounce off that door and laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then we get to see Alexa, Nikki Cross, and Tamina. I really enjoyed this.
Yes. Alexa's slowly going nuts.
You have her notice her hair. Oh, I like what we did with the hair with the pigtails, and then she finds a dread in it. And
yep.
She's got the coffee cup from a year ago, and she gets pissed and smashes it. It was just a really good time. It's obviously showing the heel turn of Alexa going more towards the Fiend type gimmick, especially since she had the dread in her hair. I really enjoyed it.
All the backstage segments this week on SmackDown were all really
they were really good.
Except
whether the wrestling in the ring was to par with what they could be doing, they kind of made up with all the theatrical components to the show. I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
So this takes us backstage again, and he finally goes in the locker room for Roman Reigns, which didn't have to push the door down. He just kind of opened it. He never tried opening it. Just open the goddamn door. And then says he is going to take a look at it. Goes back to the ring, and we get Heavy Machinery and Big E versus Sheamus and Miz and Morrison. Wow. What a cluster of a group of people. I'm enjoying Big E. I don't know how I'm going to feel about him versus Sheamus.
The only thing I'm asking for Big E is, seeing that he's the only active member of the New Day, please just drop the New Day intro and give him something for himself.
Yeah, I'd agree with that too. I thought the same thing when I heard it this last week. I'm like, why are they still doing it?
Also, we don't need the visual of him holding the 8 belts and cartoonatures.
Yeah. Yep.
Get rid of that.
Once a member of the New Day comes back, fine. But while you're doing this solo
while
run,
you're running a singles run, you don't need all that.
Do
BS.
something for yourself.
Big E.
Yeah.
I don't need you to roll down the ramp. I don't need you to come in and ball up your trench coat and throw it at Corey Graves every week.
Oh, Performance Center. Oh, Thunderdome. I don't need any of that. You know?
Although he doesn't really have much as far as a personality otherwise. I get that he'd have to develop it.
He can still do the thrusts and stuff because it's funny.
He could still do the Thunderdome, just not put your hands together for your 8-time tag champ. I don't need any of that. You can't be a tag champ by yourself. Well, Some people can. He can't.
I mean, ask Kane or Daniel Bryan. I am the tag team champions.
Ask
That was my
Braun
point.
Strowman with Nicholas.
The biggest blemish on the history of the Raw tag team titles.
Ugh.
Sorry, Nicholas.
Hope you're enjoying elementary school or middle school there, bud.
From home, distance learning.
Wait, no, that was WrestleMania 34. We're going into what? We just had 36. He was 12,
37
14.
in Hollywood.
He's in high school now.
Distance learning. Mm-hmm.
I was going to say, Nicholas is now a freshman in high school.
And he's probably had his ass kicked more times than not for being a tag champ. All right, so this was a fairly entertaining match. It wasn't the best thing on the show, but it wasn't bad.
It bored me. I fast-forwarded it.
Yeah, I didn't really pay a lot of attention to it, but it wasn't something I sat here and just fell asleep to.
Yeah, there wasn't really a nap time segment on SmackDown this week.
Golden role models.
Baron Corbin.
Their segments were good.
Yes, we just have to bash on them somewhere.
Baron Corbin was the worst segment. Yes.
Yes, by far, agreed. All right, so your result, Heavy Machinery and Big E defeated Sheamus, Miz, and Morrison. This is setting up Sheamus versus Big E at Payback. I don't know exactly what they're feuding over, being the locker room leader.
Yeah, whatever.
So that takes us backstage to seeing Adam Pearce talking with Roman Reigns sitting on a couch, and he's going over the contract. He agrees to sign it and says he's going to win, and that's not a prediction, it's a spoiler.
And then you pan over and see Paul Heyman cheesing.
Saying, believe
that. But you know what didn't happen? Roman Reigns didn't wreck anyone and leave.
He mentioned it earlier.
Yeah.
But
So all in all, SmackDown was not horrible. SmackDown was entertaining. Had a lot of good segments. I really, truly enjoyed it.
My only thing was they really should have done something to further the relationship with Heyman and Reigns, seeing that we're 2 days away from Payback.
That's why, with my feeling on Payback, I really don't see Reigns winning yet. I see it being more of a long build. I see it being Fiend pinning Braun, because Fiend and Braun are going to be focusing on beating the crap out of Roman, and Fiend's going to catch Braun at the right moment and take the win. That's how I see it. But
Well, and plus having it be basically no holds barred, falls counted anywhere, that throws another wrinkle in it, which is an advantage to
Right.
the Fiend.
To the Fiend, exactly. Because they can end up in the Firefly Funhouse. They could end up anywhere. Who knows?
this also finally makes Brock Lesnar somewhat interesting. Because what happens when Brock Lesnar comes back? Whose side is Heyman going to take?
They become tag team and go after the tag titles.
Oh, well, that actually would be a badass tag team, but it would get old really quick.
I think that when
No, because they disappear for 6 months at a time, and you wouldn't see tag titles for a while.
I mean, that's how it feels all the time on Raw anyways.
But I honestly think if that scenario were to present itself, Heyman would look at Brock and say, "I'm sick of your shit. I'm moving on."
Yep, that's what I'm thinking
Well,
too.
here's the thing, breaking kayfabe here and going into shoot. Heyman actually acts as Brock's actual sports agent.
Yeah, he's actually his advisor.
Yeah, he actually is in charge of making sure Brock gets paid, and which you got to think is some kind of a conflict of interest when he was in charge of Raw for so long, and he helps with the booking, he helps with writing in so many ways to be the actual legitimate advocate for Brock and the on-air advocate. It's kind of a weird dichotomy. So.
Mhm.
Splitting them up on TV probably will never happen because, well, you're not going to force them to end their business relationship. And I'll tell you this much, Heyman's a really smart guy. He knows who to hook his wagon to at the right time.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't be the first time he's had to make a choice, because he had to make a choice between CM Punk and Brock too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, with CM Punk, he did not have a real professional agreement with him. He was just an on-air agreement, whereas with Brock, he's legitimately his advocate. He legitimately acts as his agent. So, but So that takes us into Payback. Running down the card, which we have through this whole show pretty much, but we'll just go through it and make our predictions is where we're going. Mind you, I will say again, I'm just playing along for the predictions.
You're playing for the shipping.
No.
I thought we agreed that we were doing the lowest. The lowest results pays the shipping to ship the belt.
You're talking the lowest results on Payback?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do
The
that.
lowest victory the lowest correct predictions on Payback pays the shipping to ship the belt.
To the winner. Okay, I agree with that. All right, so for match 1, you have Matt Riddle versus King Corbin.
Riddle.
Chris?
This is a tough one for me. Because I could see Corbin sneaking it. Oh, give me a second. I'm looking at the whole card to see how many faces win.
No, he's looking for spoilers. Don't listen to him.
No, I'm looking at
See,
the
my
cards.
my whole thing is it's his first official pay-per-view on the main roster. I don't see them burying him that fast. And they got to get him past this storyline and kill this storyline.
Like I
Sure.
said, I am the fucking lead conductor on the bro train. It is Riddle all day.
And I've caught on the caboose of that train in the
I'll just-
so
I'll join with you guys, but I could see it going a different way. I could see Shorty G getting involved and screwing Riddle over on the victory. But I'll say Riddle.
okay. So match 2, we have Big E versus Sheamus.
Big E.
Biggie.
Okay, we're all agreed so far. This will be interesting. Okay, so next we have the U.S. title, Bobby Lashley versus Apollo Crews.
Bobby Lashley.
It makes too much sense. Lashley.
All right, 3 for 3. We're all matching.
Well, the main event's going to be different because you guys have already kind of said.
All right,
But
so the
I mean,
women's
I could see Apollo retaining just to continue the feud with the Hurt Business, but it doesn't make a whole lot of sense at this point. Apollo's not a big draw for the U.S. title.
Right. They got to put the U.S. title on a bigger name, and they could still make him come back after them with the Hurt
Yep.
Business. He could still come after MVP. Hell, he could even swerve and join the Hurt Business at this point and go after his other teammates.
Yep.
You know, there's a lot of opportunities. Cedric could get involved and really screw him over, too.
Right.
Yep.
There's just too much logic that points towards Bobby Lashley.
Right. So the women's tag team titles, Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler versus the Golden Role Models.
Baszler and Jax.
Somebody's going to have to pick something different at some point. God damn it.
I
Not
said
if
the
it's
main
a-
event's going to be different.
Not if it's a too obvious of a pay-per-view. I mean, so far, Steve,
Jackson Baszler.
thank you. I needed it official. God. All right, so this next one is Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio versus what I'm calling the Monday Night Ministry.
This is a tougher one to call.
Yeah, I'm this is one I've actually got to put some thought into.
So I'll tell you where I'm at with it, just because with the whole feud where it's going place, they got to give a win to Rey and Dominic. Dominic's got to finally get a win. His first match on the roster, he lost. The second match on the roster, it was a tag match, and it was a smudge or a screwjob finish with Retribution. Give him a win.
Well, that's why I'm torn on it because I feel like it's going to turn into a no contest because Retribution's going to get involved again.
Yeah, if we're gonna get a retribution spot, this is where it's probably gonna happen.
Yeah. So I feel like it's going to be a no contest, but it's hard to make a prediction of a no contest.
You can predict no contest. If you say no contest, we can put that in.
Yeah, but
Because
that
that's
makes
a win.
that makes my odds.
I was
very,
to say
very
that
bad.
pigeonholes you really bad.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does. That's like saying, "Oh, I'm predicting a DQ by," you know.
And
It's really-
that's part of my thought process. I'm like, okay, if retribution does, if this is the retribution spot, who do they hit first?
Yeah.
which results in the DQ win.
DQ. Yeah.
honestly, they probably go after Rollins if anyone.
Which would give
Rollins the win.
Rollins the win. Yeah.
Because who
don't
knows? It
know,
might be
man.
Reigns and Rollins running Retribution, is one of the rumors is.
Oh, Reigns is out of it now since it's with Heyman.
Oh no, I think Heyman's the mastermind,
It
and
was me all along.
I think Heyman's the mastermind, and Reigns does his bidding.
All right. I don't like this one. I'll go.
I'll go Dom and
Yeah,
Ray, just
that's
so
That's the way I was gonna go too. So I'll
If-
stay the same
if you,
as guys.
I was gonna say, if you want to be if you want to be the contrarian, just to have the one match that's different, that was your
Nope.
chance.
No, I don't want to. Not yet.
All right, match 6. Randy Orton versus Keith Lee.
It's funny. CBS says Keith Lee, but I think easily it's Randy Orton.
See, I was
Yeah.
actually thinking Keith Lee. They give him a win on his first official match on the main roster.
Mm.
I'm with Steve on this one.
There's a different one right there. Yep, I'll
Yep.
go Orton.
All right, so match 7, Universal title match. No holds barred, falls count anywhere, blah, blah, blah. 3-way. The Fiend versus Braun versus Roman.
The Fiend.
I would love for the Fiend to win, but I'm going to say the big dog is going to win.
The only reason I don't say Roman takes it back right away is that's hot shotting the title, and I don't think that's.
And I really think that shits on the Fiend, which he's had such a build-up to be
It
so
shits
strong.
on the Fiend and it shits on the Universal title.
Yeah.
Hot shotting the belt reduces the belt's credibility.
I know, but they've done it with and I know it's the women's title, but they did it with Sasha and Charlotte like crazy for a while. So they could do the same thing with Reigns.
But they're
and
trying
Fiend.
to build the Universal title to be something.
Right, they're trying to build the prestige of it, and hot shotting it destroys its prestige.
Yeah, when you hot shot a title back and forth, playing hot potato with a belt, it doesn't help its lineage. You look at the WWF Championship going back to when it was, Backlund and Hogan and Andre and look at how long Hogan held it in each run he had.
Yeah,
His short run was when he held the Undisputed back in 2001, 2002. That was
Yep.
his shortest title reign in WWF history as far as a heavyweight champion.
and the primary candidate to hot shot a belt with was Jinder Mahal, and he had the belt for over 200 days.
Right.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. Is they've had long runs with a lot of different people.
And you also got to remember,
start flip flopping it for a little bit.
they already used Bray as a paper champion once, and that sucked. That was
I
back.
hear you. Yeah.
Back when his feud with Randy Orton, and I thought that was horrible. He had it for literally a month, and they could have done so much more with him. And obviously, it felt like they were doing a test, but they needed to find a way to get the title off of who it was on and get it onto Orton. Although it would have worked just having Orton win it in the Elimination Chamber instead of having it go to Bray. Even though I love Bray as a champion, and at any time give him gold as much as you can. I think realistically taking it off the Fiend is the wrong choice. It's going to, like I said, they've built the Fiend character for over a year. They've built him strong, even with having him eat the mat from Rollins with the
And
curb
he's already
stomp.
had to do the job as the Fiend to a overrated superstar once when he dropped it to Goldberg.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. No, I mean he's been a paper champion twice, and it's probably going to happen a third time.
I don't see when he dropped it to Goldberg as a paper champion because he'd had the belt for quite a while at that point. I see Goldberg more as the paper champion because it was a transition.
True.
It was going to be a transition to get it to Reigns without having him have to job it to Reigns directly. That's the thing. They did everything they could to protect him from jobbing out to Reigns, and then COVID hit. You know what I mean? They were trying to protect from that happening just yet.
Yeah.
So I don't see them having it happen this way. The only way I would see it if Reigns were to win this weekend is if Braun retained last week going into this, and then the Reigns would have gotten it.
Or the other option is having Reigns go over Braun in this three-way.
Yeah, because then technically Bray doesn't lose per se, because anyone can be pinned anywhere. So
Yeah.
if Braun, either way, Braun's taking the pin. Braun's doing the job in this match.
Yeah.
But it's who's going over. And like I said, if that's the only way it should go on Reigns is if Reigns pins Braun, because then the Fiend can still come after him without ever having to have legitimately lost the title. It doesn't take any heat off of Reigns, and it doesn't take any of the babyface appeal off of Bray Wyatt.
And that's exactly how it's going to happen.
I was gonna say now. The more I think
we
about
talk
it,
about it, the
I'm
more
like,
it plays out.
oh.
But I'm gonna keep my decision as a Fiend just because
I'm
I'm
working
a huge
working
Fiend
myself
fan.
into a shoot.
Yeah.
But
A
see, at
big
the same
dog.
time, I've read so many possibilities and so many websites regarding the predictions, and it's legitimately torn in this match.
I'm
And
working
no
myself-
one is saying Braun. Everyone's saying either Roman or the Fiend. That's what everyone's saying. And it's leaning heavier and heavier towards the Fiend the more I read. However,
We just explained a perfectly logical resolution.
Exactly.
For it to be
But-
Reigns.
But WWE, I mean, anything can happen, right? It could be Strowman taking the belt back by pinning Reigns, but that weakens
Damn.
Reigns.
Steve's scared he's not going to get that belt now.
I was saying, I'm working myself into a. I've done worked myself into a shoot.
So here's a question I have for you. Since
What
you guys
happens
are
if we tie? We could tie again. We
hold
can
on.
tie again. Me and Steve could tie
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, if you guys both tie,
All out.
at that point, I think we restart it all out.
If we tie, yes, I say
Okay.
Larry has a fair shot, and
At
it's
all
a,
out.
it's a wash. Yep.
Yep.
We'll go to all
Okay,
out.
so but now let's see this thing. If Steve and I match, because all of our predictions are matched right now, and Chris wins, who pays the shipping?
You do for your worst results and take over.
I
And
paid for the fucking thing.
that's irrelevant. If we tie, we split it. How about that?
Okay, fair. I agree with that. Oh, good lord.
It's a mess.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh.
So it's it'll be interesting to see how tomorrow plays out. But it could be a good show, but I'm prepared for letdown.
Yeah.
Being that they didn't have a long build up to this pay-per-view, they didn't have a long build up to this event. It could go so wrong so fast.
But that's the other thing about it is they know that there's a 1 week turnaround, so people can't expect too much. So if you're not expecting too much, you can't be disappointed.
Which with 1 week turnaround, like I said, you got with people in the back running booking, they can't see taking the title off of Bray this fast as a good thing. You know, from what I've read, they've been telling Roman to get ready for ring action again for the past couple months. They knew they were bringing him back. So why would they have had this happen so quickly to just have the title pulled off of him? It doesn't.
And I
make
also
sense.
think that's part of the reason why they went to Amway. To Amway, I think that was one of his conditions to come back. Was they
Well,
had
yeah.
to find
Probably the same.
an arena.
Probably the same with Sami Zayn too.
Yeah, they had to have more spacious accommodations, allow them to have their own locker rooms. It's better for social distancing. And also it makes it feel like an actual event, especially with the Thunderdome. Like I said,
And I
with the
love
Thunderdome. Go ahead.
I love the fact that with the Thunderdome, they can extend the pyro into the seats.
Yeah,
Right.
that is
It makes a bigger event. It makes it feel more grandiose. And then on top of that, they're piping in crowd sound, which I think really helps. I've noticed the wrestlers actually seem to be putting in better and better performances.
Yeah.
So, and then you also get the fun stuff that happens on screen sometimes, you know, people wearing funny masks and, you know,
Kenny Omega.
Kenny Omega being spotted. Now, we don't know if it was actually him or someone just put up a screenshot. It would be funny if it was actually him.
It looked like it was him.
It
that
would have
did
been
not
funny
look-
if it was actually him.
That didn't
watching
look
that.
like a cardboard cutout or a screenshot. That looked like Kenny Omega sitting there.
You know, you get people falling asleep. You know, you get, you know, Chris Benoit up on screen.
I was
You get
waiting for it.
You know, you get. Hey, he's back on WWE TV.
He does exist. Well, no, he doesn't exist, but
It's just funny how they go about doing that. Now I know WWE is working on preventing stuff like the KKK stuff and all that kind of thing. But I think it's actually making it more viable and entertaining to watch.
Could you imagine being the producer backstage that has to be assigned the person to watch all those people? That would be a nightmare.
Oh, they probably have a team doing it.
Yeah, it's like you can only watch so many monitors. I mean, how many monitors are up there as far as screens you can see? You know, there's only so many people they can fit on it, and
there's got to be probably close to 1,000, 2,000 screens there.
Yeah.
Well, you got to remember, it's only on one half of the arena. The hard camera side doesn't have any screens.
Oh, okay.
So where they're shooting the hard camera from has no screens on that side of the arena. It's only on the one side. So hard camera always gets a full shot. But when they back up and pan with one of their cranes, you can see the back of the barricade, and there's nothing back there. So, which is why whenever they do their entrances with the pyro in the crowd, you know, it's always from hard camera angle.
But still, I wouldn't want to be the producer that's assigned to make sure there's no tomfoolery on the Thunderdome screens.
Yeah,
I bet they had like it's not like a producer guy. I bet you it's like security guard guys that are used to looking at like 50 screens at once, type of thing.
I wouldn't put it past them.
Yeah,
they're sitting there in a control room watching screens, and okay, you're off. You know,
that's their job, just to watch the people.
And the part that makes it even harder is it's not the same person on the same screen through the entire night. There are actually time slots.
Yeah, they get rotated. And
because
then there have been people that have been taking a beach ball and they agree with a friend that they both get on and they throw it off of their screen. The other one catches it. So you see it like looks like the beach ball's bouncing through it. It's hard to catch. Like people have tried to do it, and it's pretty entertaining what people are trying to accomplish.
But like I said, I've seen it in a couple of my wrestling groups. People are sharing screenshots like they have a 7:45 call time for Raw, and then somebody else is like, yeah, I'm going to be on Raw too, but my call time's 9:45, so they get the end of the show, and
right.
So they're rotating fans through the Thunderdome,
which makes sense.
More money for them.
Yeah, I haven't even seen how much they're charging for it.
I haven't had any desire to look.
Yeah,
I tried to register and it was all filled. I couldn't get in, so I stopped trying.
But I think we're about done here, folks.
It's been an entertaining day of wrestling, or week of wrestling, because we caught up with 2 weeks worth of AEW and 2 weeks worth of Impact. And can we just hope that all the wrestling companies learn not to run so much shit so close?
Right?
God, you know, us podcasters got to have a life otherwise, you know.
And it's going to be for the first time in almost a year, we actually have to pay for a pay-per-view for All Out next week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's on pay-per-view. It's not on TV. We actually have to pay for it. Chris, call Third Rail.
I was going to talk to you about that after the show.
Oh, okay. All right. Last time when we did the Evolution bet, we went to a bar who was playing it. So
yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame.
He's like, fuck you guys.
Not only do I have to pay for it, but I have to watch it by myself. Well, me and Chris are having a beer at Third Rail watching it there.
Yeah, are your bars allowing people in them now?
Yeah.
Yeah, ours aren't. We're still outside only.
Yeah, it's California. All right.
Where,
well,
you know,
until next week, we will finally, hopefully, have a resolution to this title belt.
It's so pretty. Oh, so pretty.
And somebody will have all the glory, and somebody will be eating some crow. But
Or two of us will be eating crow.
Yeah, and splitting a bill.
Yes.
You know, Chris, that goes the same way if we tie. I don't know how we would, but we might.
Me and you?
Yeah.
I don't think that's possible.
Let's see. Yeah, 2.
You're 3 in the hole.
4.
We only have 2 different picks.
We're not counting last week for this. If me and you are both wrong on 2 of ours, we'll tie.
Wait, you have to wait. What?
The only
thought-
2 that Chris and I are different on is Orton and Keith Lee and the Universal title. Those are the only 2 we're different on.
Yeah, you would
Right.
tie just like me and Steve would tie. Yes,
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
we call it a wash. Yep.
All right. Well, we will go over all this, try to get all this math and shit figured out, and we will talk to y'all next week.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you very much for listening to the Honest Wrestling Review Network. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. And as always, you can find us on our various social media outlets. Search us on Facebook at Honest Wrestling Review. You can also find us on Twitter at HW Review Pod. And you can find us on Instagram at _HWR_network. If you have any ideas for a show or recommendations for a topic, please feel free to send us to us on those various social media outlets. Thank you very much for listening.